Bring a winning hat-trick of performance, payload and price. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
With your headlines, just gone 10 a.m, I'm Nick Ellaby. Good morning. Former Burnley striker Charlie Austin's told us it is time for the club to part ways with Scott Parker. He says sometimes a manager can overstay their welcome.
Can turn a bit stale. This never really happened with Sean Dyche, and it was a different type of manager. I know he was there for a long, long time, but he was up and down, but he made the football club his own. I'm not sure Scott Parker has that same connection with the Burnley fans.
Burnley were relegated following their defeat to Man City this week. And only Eriola looks more likely to end up at Chelsea, with reports Edin Terzic has agreed terms at Athletic Bilbao. But European football expert Kev Hatchard doesn't think Bluco will give Eriola the control he wants and needs.
I think until that interference, that kind of feeling that they know better disappears, I just don't see how the club can move forward.
Chelsea face Leeds in the FA Cup semi-final, live on TalkSport on Sunday afternoon. Millwall are still exploring their legal options after the club's crest was pictured on a Ku Klux Klan figure in a children's booklet about racism in football. London's Westminster Council, which distributed them in schools, have apologised to the club and taken the booklets out of circulation. Warrington-born Luke Littler says the boos in Liverpool were nothing compared to Rotterdam, and it felt good to beat Premier League leader Johnny Clayton 6-1 to all but assure Littler's playoff spot. Formula One is returning to Turkey's Istanbul circuit for at least 5 years. That's from 2027. And former England all-rounder Samit Patel is retiring from cricket. He played 6 tests, 36 one-dayers and 18 T20 internationals. Patel also played for Notts in Derbyshire and amassed 25,000 runs and 957 wickets in first-class cricket. More at talksport.com.
TalkSport News.
Reports this morning suggest the US are looking to punish the UK for not supporting their war, and we're being told to ditch passwords and use pass keys to stay safe online. Sinead has more in half an hour.
TalkSport weather with QuickFit. Spring forwards with Bridgestone Turanza all-season 6 tyres with a 25,000 mileage guarantee. Book today at quickfit.com. Conditions apply.
Another bright and sunny day, slightly warmer than yesterday, less windy as well, staying warm and settled into the weekend.
Hello, very good morning to you. It is Sam Matterface, Alex Crook and the former Aston Villa striker Gabby Agbonlahor. We're live on TalkSport until 1 o'clock this afternoon. So a respite from the battle at the top of the league for Manchester City as the FA Cup semi-finals roll around. But no such luck for Tottenham at the other end of the table. Is the weekend's game against Wolves the acid test for their survival credentials, or is the real judgment day still to come? Also, Chelsea go to Wembley with Callum McFarlane in the dugout following Liam Rosenior's dismissal. Would a convincing performance against Leeds be more damning for Rosenior or the players? We'll ask former Blue striker Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink, who'll join us at this hour. Also today, are we hearing mixed messages about the future of Regis Labrie? Is Mikel Arteta capable of winning and taking the shackles off? And what does the death of Football Focus say about social media and the world we live in today? It's Sam Matterface, Alex Crook and Gabby Agbonlahor. We're live. It's TalkSport. Yes, a very good morning to you. All right, you're laughing your little heads off there. You enjoying yourself?
He said to me that you should say former Aston Villa and England striker, not just Aston Villa.
Former England and Aston Villa striker.
Thank you, guys. Free caps. Don't I mean the free caps? Don't forget them. Sam and FA Sam.
How many goals?
Hit the post twice.
Welcome, one and all. It is Fun Boy Friday. We're here through till 1 o'clock. Gabby Agbonlahor, as you have heard, is already here. He proclaimed boldly yesterday that winless in 2026 Tottenham Hotspur are suddenly going to turn into prime Pep Barcelona and bag 11 points from 5 games. Grape juice got to you?
I had been in Mallorca, very hot. Might have had a bit of sunstroke. It happens to us all, Sam. You know, it's very hot, as you can tell by the tan.
You've just doubled down now. I've just seen him. That's what I was laughing
Do you know
at.
what?
Scribbled down the
Do you know
points.
what?
We'll get there in just a
Do you
second.
know what? I also come on here probably the last 6 years, and maybe people say you're negative. I'm trying to be positive.
Good.
For Spurs fans. I'm looking at the games. Wolves away. Why can't they win? Villa concentrating on Europa League second leg. Maybe rest some players. They can get a draw maybe at Villa away. Leeds at home, tough game. Leeds are in great form, but that should be a game that you win if you're trying to stay in the Premier League. Chelsea away, Chelsea will turn up? Can they get a point? Maybe. Last game of the season, you need to win to stay in the Premier League. Everton at home. It's not the worst predictions.
Okay, alongside
We'll be the
him,
judge of that.
alongside him, the human weather vane that is TalkSport's chief football correspondent, Alex Crook. Exclusive stories, but opinions that change faster than the man in the Chelsea dugout. I'm just here trying to process the events at the Bridge this weekend. It's been
Good fun.
an absolute nightmare being his mate. He keeps ringing me up randomly about 11 o'clock at night going, another good night for the Chelsea. Let's get into it. Gabby, 11 points from 5 games. Is that what you really think then? Is it? It wasn't the sangria in Spain talking. You think that they can actually do it?
It's very good. Listen, it'll be difficult to get those points, but I looked at the performance against Brighton. Yes, Brighton had many chances in the first half, but I've seen something different from Spurs. You know, they were in line with the manager. Yeah, I saw positive signs. I saw signs of players that Simmons, goal and assist. They're up for the fight, these Spurs players in that game. And I looked at their bench, Sam, from the weekend. Spence, Maddison, Bergvall, Palhinha, Archie Gray, Tell. And I look at Richarlison and Dragson as well. But to have Maddison back as well, what part will he play come into the season? I feel like the squad of players that they've got, there's no reason why they can't get those points.
Okay, 03717223344. 2 have already gone. Wolverhampton Wanderers relegated this week. Burnley relegated this week as well. 03717223344. 2 down, 1 to go. Who is that going to be? Are you with Gabby Agbonlahor? Do you think that Spurs can get 11 points from their final few games of the season, final 5 games of the season, averaging just over 2.2 points per game? Or do you think he's been on the sangria? 03717223344. The others in relatively, for relegation threatened sides, in good form really. If they maintain that, Spurs are cooked. What gives Forest the edge? Quality or unity, Crook?
I certainly think Vitor Pereira has brought a bit of unity. Obviously, it was pretty clear by the end of Sean Dyche's tenure, the players weren't buying into what he was trying to do. And I do think they've got quality as well. I mean, you look at Morgan Gibbs-White's hat-trick last weekend. He is a player I think will be in high demand again this summer, and Forest might not be able to keep him unless they win the Europa League and qualify for the Champions League themselves. But yeah, certainly seem to have a bit more spirit and a bit more character. I do think we're all getting a little bit carried away by Tottenham last week. Yes, they were better. They didn't win the game.
Yeah.
What about West Ham United?
West Ham United, tough games to come as well. Everton at home this weekend. You know, Everton still fighting for European football. Tough game. Probably I could see a draw in that game. Brentford away, Arsenal at home, Newcastle away, Leeds at home. I think it all depends who wants it the most, because going back to Nottingham Forest, you look at their fixtures, they'll be dying for a win this weekend. Try and give yourself a little bit of a gap, because after that they've got 2 games against Aston Villa. Imagine winning this weekend, having breathing space. You can play your strongest team in a 2-leg semi-final of the Europa League, because they've got Chelsea away, Newcastle at home, Manchester United away, Bournemouth at home. All difficult games. And
let's be clear, with the table the way it is, if they win tonight live on TalkSport and they start the weekend, I think that gives them a little bit of an advantage as well. Then they'll be in such a strong position, it will almost be impossible for the other 2 to catch them on current form.
100%. And like I said, it takes that pressure off. How big is it for Nottingham Forest fans? I speak to Nottingham Forest fans, Max Scott on here. They've got every chance, Sam and Crookie, to go and win this Europa League. Yes, my heart's set on Villa to win it, but over 2 legs, it's a hard one to call. Then you back them, whoever wins that semi-final, to win the final. So win against Sunderland away, and then...
Well, if they win against Sunderland away, they'll have 39 points. No one gets relegated on 39 points. I mean, it would be an absolute miracle if that happened. The other thing that needs to be factored into all this is that, let's be clear, West Ham
and Nottingham Forest are more used to these experiences of being down there and digging out, mucking out points than Spurs are. That's not really something that they've been used to over the last few years. In fact, Spurs have not won any of their last 15 league games. It's 49 years since Spurs found themselves in the relegation zone after 33 league matches. And in that 1976-77 season when they were last in there, they ended up getting relegated and they didn't have enough to drag themselves out of the fire. None of them have it easy.
No.
If you look at the fixtures, they're all a little bit hard to predict, aren't they, as to which way they're going to go. What do your expert eyes tell you about who is going to end up perishing?
Well, I was just going to chuck out a question, actually. Do you think for Tottenham, this trip to Molineux is their biggest game of the Premier League era? Now, obviously, they've been part of a potential title chase. The year Leicester won it, they've been Champions League contenders. We remember Lasagna Gate when they got pipped by Arsenal on the last day of the season. We remember Harry Redknapp getting soaked by his own players when they got their big win at Manchester City. But in terms of what it means for the football club, because if they don't win this weekend, I think they're gone. I think they can forget any hopes of survival. I think it's their biggest game in
possibly
several decades.
Possibly, but I think if they win this game, the next one becomes the biggest game. I think if they lose this game, the next one becomes the biggest game. So I think you're in a scenario with Spurs where every single match is basically pivotal for their future, every single one, because they could win tomorrow quite easily, and that still might not be enough, because arguably everyone beats Wolves, so the results against Wolves are sort of negated.
But you have to go there tomorrow with cup final mentality, Spurs. It's a must-win. Like we said in recent weeks, Sam, even if it's 1-1, last 5 minutes, a draw's nothing to Spurs. They need to go and win this game. And I just look at the Villa game. I keep going on about it, but this is massive for Aston Villa to win a trophy. To play Aston Villa in between two legs of the semi-final. Could he rest players? Could players have little knocks in the game on Thursday night away to Nottingham Forest? That could be a good chance.
It's at Aston Villa as well, isn't it?
Just maybe if he rest players, if Rodgers doesn't play, McGinn rest, you never know.
Maybe they do so well in the first leg of the semi-final that they think they can play their team to guarantee.
Look at Leeds the other night. I turned up with the Vitality thinking, well, he's going to rest several players, Daniel Farke, because they were pretty much safe anyway on 39 points. He named the same 11 that beat Wolves at the weekend, and that tells you that managers do a bit of stock in momentum. As well.
Great swerving, by the way, Crook. But who's going to go down?
Tottenham
will go down. And why do you think that is the case?
Because I think they've given themselves too much to do. I mean, I like Gabby's optimism if I'm a Spurs fan, but having not won a game in the calendar year in the Premier League, I don't see how you can make a case for them winning 3 out the last 5.
Deserby coming in.
What about you?
Madison being back.
You've tallied up their points.
Madison.
I'm looking at your sheet now, and I know we're not allowed to look at your research, but you've got 12 points there.
No.
Is that a 2?
You've got 11 there.
No, 11, mate.
Okay, sorry. You can't write properly.
No, listen, my predictions are positive for Forest and West Ham as well, but I just look at these games and I say to myself, if you're Spurs players and the manager, Wolves away, Villa away, Leeds at home, Chelsea away, Everton at home, surely the home game is crooky. I know Leeds are in good form away from home, Everton as well, but if you want to stay in the Premier League, that squad of players Spurs have got, surely...
Listen,
their cup finals, you have to go and win.
I know they're not in any great shape at the moment, but Chelsea are still in the top half of the table. Villa are in the Champions League places. Everton are in the top half of the table. So take Wolves away from it. The only team they've got to play in the bottom half of the table between now and the end of the season is Leeds.
Yeah, but it doesn't always work like that, does it? About where you are.
But also, it's more about Tottenham.
Tottenham haven't beaten anyone.
It's more about Tottenham. They haven't. Only Derby in 2007, 2008, and Sunderland in 2002. 3 have had longer winless runs to start a calendar year than Spurs, which is a streak of 15 games. Both were relegated.
They should have won against Brighton.
But they didn't.
Danso's got to clear
the ball.
They didn't.
I'm trying to give Spurs some positivity. Listen, I think we'd all have a little bit of a laugh if Spurs went down, but I'm looking at that performance.
Tottenham fans won't.
I'm looking at Simmons. I'm looking at the players that played in that game, and I know Crook like to say, positive signs. They've got every chance.
Encouraging signs.
They've just got to... Every game is a cup final now for Spurs. Wolves away, get that done first.
I think Forest are going to be safe, and I think they're going to be safe because they've got enough points and there's enough room for them to pick up more. Although on paper, actually, they have the hardest running.
Change your mind on West Ham, Sam? Or
I think they get 6 or 7 points. Forest from the next 5. That puts them on 42-43. I think it's a straight shootout now between West Ham and Tottenham Hotspur. and West Ham were poor against Crystal Palace. I think they get 5 points, West Ham, between now and the end of the season, especially on current form. That's 38. Tottenham, I think they've got greater quality than the others. I think they'll get 7 points, which also takes it to 38, and I think it goes down to goal difference.
Wow. I'll tell you what.
The data models predict Spurs will go down on 37 points, West Ham will get around 39, and Forest will be well clear. But I wonder what you think this morning listening to this. 03717 223344. It's so tight, and it will be incredibly tense for supporters of those clubs. And this weekend is going to be pivotal to them. 03717 223344.
I was just going to say the last day of the season is going to be fascinating. Even just looking at Gabby's prep sheet there, you've got Leeds against West Ham. You'd imagine West Ham are going to need something to stay up. Forest against Bournemouth. Bournemouth going for Europe for the first time in their history. Tottenham against Everton. Tottenham aren't going to be safe by then. Everton competing for Europe. Obviously, you've got the prospects of the title race going for the last day of the season as well. It's going to be a blockbuster.
It's not Gabby's prep sheet, by the way. It's the running order.
Well, you don't like me getting any...
Cheers for looking at that, Crook. We appreciate it. 03717 223344 81089 on the text if you want to get in touch. We'd love to hear from you this morning. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink is going to join us in around about half an hour's time to talk Chelsea. We want to speak Spurs, West Ham and Nottingham Forest before then. Give us a call. Tell us what you think. It's Sam Matterface, Alex Crook and Gabby Agbonlahor with Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go.
Vincent Kompany's side, who won their 35th Bundesliga title at the weekend, have made adding another winger this summer a top priority. Gordon's thought to be open to a move to the Bundesliga, even though a starting spot, the Allianz, is not guaranteed. Sources reveal the England international has already spoken to Harry Kane about life in Munich. Newcastle United reported to be willing to sell, providing their valuation of at least £75 million is met. Do you think that there's a possibility that Bayern might balk that valuation, Coisty? 75 million? It's a lot of money. I mean, he's a, good player. Fully fledged England international.
Oh, 100%, mate. 75 million. Far too much. Far too much. Good player. I like him. Hasn't shown any level of consistency in the league. I would say best form's been in the Champions League or certainly Europe. Would he be interested in going? You better believe he would. I mean, if you're Anthony Gordon, crikey, a move to Bayern Munich, why would you not?
Well, because you might not play every week.
I know, I get that. And I was just about to say, you look at it, I've got Musiala, Diaz, Guerrero, I mean, Elise, Harry Kane, Gnabry. It won't start. I mean, if Bayern Munich were playing PSG today and he was in that squad, he wouldn't start.
TalkSport. It's Sam Matterface, Alex Crook, and Gabby Agbonlahor is here as well.
I like your haircut, by the way.
I had to have one.
Did you go for the action man look?
Do you think he looks action man? Is that what you're saying?
I can't banter
Looks
anyone,
very
so
well polished.
I'll keep quiet.
Your man, the ref. He was impressed when I came in this morning. He said to me, "It makes me look younger." I was like, "I'll have that, ref."
Have you seen his hair?
Yeah, well, not really, no. Also, the other thing about the ref is, he came in, I like every type of music, every type of music. Oh, yeah, I like a bit of R&B, I like a bit of rock, I do a bit of alternative, but don't. And I said to him, I'm going to a country gig in a couple of weeks. You want to come? He's like, no, don't do country.
Looks like a country guy.
Last night on his Instagram, he's at a country gig. Really? I just sent him a message saying...
Presumably he got told he had to be there by the better half.
Exactly. Crookie, Spurs won't go down, no matter how much you want them to. Massively underestimate De Zerbi at your peril.
Massive fan of De Zerbi.
In Broxbourne.
I've got no dog in this fight,
sound
as you
like
know.
you've got a massive...
No dog in this
like
fight.
De Zerbi.
You have got a dog in a fight. You're horrible about Spurs all the time.
Why is
no
that,
reason.
Crookie?
There's not much to be nice about, is there? They're third from bottom. They've stunk the place out all season.
Gabby, giving Spurs 11 points. I'll have what he's drinking. He showed. He said they showed fight. Did they really? And Maddison, no chance he's fit. They're down all day long, says John in Manchester. Morning, chaps. No surprise Spurs look like they can get 11 points when they have 11 players on the pitch all game. If they survive, it'll be because of this and because Romero isn't playing, says Vince. I genuinely think Spurs will go down. And not only have we got to win probably 2 or 3 games, that is notwithstanding the form of the teams above us, which is better than us. Leeds are safe. You just thought Forest or West Ham can be pulled in. We've not got the fight. 2 home wins all season. That's from Mark. Let's go to Alan, who's a Spurs fan. Hello, Alan.
Hello, guys. How you doing?
Yeah, we're good. Good morning to you. What are you thinking about Tottenham Hotspur going into this weekend? It's a must-win game against Wolves, but will it be enough to put you on the right road to safety?
Look, what I can say is we've had must-win games for the last 5 or 6 weeks. It's been getting worse and worse and worse. We're running out of must-win games. I think this game is a game that definitely we've got to win. If we don't win it, then in my opinion, we deserve to be relegated. There's no question about that. We've got to beat Wolves the way Wolves are. We've got to beat them. But it all boils down to what De Zerbi can do with the players. I think if De Zerbi would have come in before Tudor or when Frank went, I think it would have been a completely different story, and I think we would have been out of it by now. I think the board have made so many inept decisions over the last few years that it's just been awful for us, and I think De Zerbi is the only person that can possibly get us out of it, in my opinion.
They must beat Wolves on Saturday to avoid their longest winless run in the league. For 91 years, it was set in 1934-35. Alan, thank you very much. Brian, let's speak to you about the possibility of Nottingham Forest being safe. You're a big Forest fan. What do you think?
Yeah, morning, chaps. How's things? All right?
Yeah, we're good, thank you. We're looking forward to a massive weekend on TalkSport. We start tonight with Sunderland Forest.
I know.
You don't sound too happy about that.
I'm just a little bit tentative because the club's been through so much in the past year. We haven't had any stability since Nuno left. We've now got Mr. Pereira in, who seems to be doing gelling the team together. Morgan Gibbs-White has stepped up as leader. You can see his passion. You can see it in his face when he scores. He's so proud of what he's doing. And I do think in my heart we'll be safe, but you never know. I do think Spurs will go down. I agree with Crookie. And by the way, Crookie, your commentary the other night at Bournemouth and yours, Sam, at Manchester City was fantastic. The way you speak on radio is awesome. And Gabby, let's not leave you out. You only got 3 caps for England, but
yeah.
Unfortunately, mate, you were a great player, but you can only pick 11, can't you?
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Nice words,
What a nice
mate.
call. What a nice call. By the way, you mentioned there about the ownership. It's not a coincidence, is it? When you look at the teams who are fighting to stay up now, Tottenham, West Ham and Forest, I think all fans have had cause for complaints about the way their club has been run. Forest, certainly with the chopping and changing of managers this season. Obviously, West Ham fans have been protesting and Tottenham have been a shambles. So is this an example of if you don't run the club right at the top of the tree, it's going to filter down on the pitch?
I do think, Crookie, to be honest, I've been going to Forest since the mid-70s. I used to watch when we're in the European Cup games, I've seen all the top teams come to Forest when I used to go with my dad and stand in the Trent end, freezing cold, But I do think now the power has been taken away from managers. I think they're now all being run by big conglomerates and big businesses, and I don't think the managers have the control anymore, which I believe in my heart is, I just don't think it's right. I think they do need to pick the team. I do think that they need to speak to the players and be closer to the players and have some decisions in transferring and what have you. But let's not take away the fact that Spurs have been far too arrogant for far too long, and the money they have spent is unbelievable, and it just shows you, oh yeah, we'll be all right. Well, actually, you're not all right, are you? Because you're staring the Championship in the face because you've kept kicking the can down the road. We'll be all right, and all of a sudden the management now has gone, hang on a minute, we're in a right mess here.
Absolutely.
You know what? They've only got themselves to blame, mate. They've only got themselves to blame. I don't want West Ham to go down. I have friends who are West Ham fans. I love the club. We've got a good association with Forest. Stuart Pearce went there. Marlon Harewood went there. I love West Ham. Great team. Fighting spirit. I just think it would be a shame if they went down because they've shown some real resilience like we have.
Well, they've shown certainly more form in the second half of the season than Tottenham have. Brian, thank you very much. Great call. Appreciate that. Alfie says, can't physically see them go down. They're too good. It'd be too good to be true. The fight from Xavi Simons at the moment, they need one win and more will follow, even with limited games. That's Alfie.
Just on Xavi Simons, by the way. I mean, he's been underused, isn't he, this season?
No, Tudor didn't use him at all.
Yeah, and he had that brilliant game that I was at against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. All right, they went out, but he ran the show in the second leg. And then he dropped him for the next league game. I mean, he's one of the few players, actually, who's shown he is up for the fight.
And he wants to be a part of it as well, didn't you? I mean, we sort of made a big thing about the fact that when everybody else went off on holiday, when they sacked Thomas Frank, he stayed at the club and tried to get fit, tried to make sure that he was ready for the next game, and then he got Tudor, rewarded him by not putting him in the team.
What do you think, Sam? Because for weeks you said on having you on air, I can't see Spurs going down, I can't see them going down. How do you feel now?
I've told
you. I think it is a 50-50 shootout.
Goal difference, 50-50. It's West Ham or Tottenham for me.
Scary, isn't it, to think one of these two football
It is, and you know what? What's really annoying is it's eminently avoidable for both.
Yes.
So when they look back at their seasons, they'll both think, what were we doing? And I go back, even though Nuno's come out with quite a lot of credit and he's got them playing well now and there's a bit of fight about them, his methods do take a little bit of time to start to seed and then yield results. But go back to those two games, Brentford and Leeds. They threw away points in those games in the early part of his tenure with really odd sort of approaches, and that might come back to haunt them. If they'd won those two games, they'd be miles away by now.
But we are in a sort of reap what you sow era, aren't we? Not just in the Premier League, but obviously Leicester being relegated this week. That was
incredible,
avoidable as
Chelsea.
well. That was arrogant. Yeah, Chelsea just make one bad decision after another. They're going to miss out on the Champions League, maybe miss out on Europe altogether. So I do think, and we've been saying this all season, the managers get the flack. 10 managers, I think, have gone now. Is that right?
In the Premier League.
Half the Premier League have been fired. Yeah. But actually, it's the people making the decisions at the top of the shop who are really to blame.
Do you know what I feel sorry for, Sam? Quickly, sorry. Leicester fans. So I've been invited to play against the Leicester City team.
I thought you were going to be invited to play for Leicester.
So I've been invited to play in a charity game. It's a 10-year anniversary of Leicester winning the Premier League. So it's going to be as many players from that team against players they played in that season. I've been invited to play. I don't know if I'll play yet. But if you're Leicester fans, you see the Leicester social media pulling it out, you're like, are you joking?
They posted it 24 hours before they were relegated.
Sam, it's incredible.
Talk about tone deaf.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
it defies belief.
Listen, I think Leicester fans, over the last 10, 15 years, have had a great journey.
Yes.
They've been up, down. They've been all over the place. They've had the greatest of highs and the lowest of lows. And that's part of being a football fan. But that's just rubbing salt into the wound.
I'm sure a week before as well, they'd done the end of season award nominations. They posted that on there on Twitter.
Yeah,
and you're like, what? End of season awards?
I think fans were either voting for Harry Winks or Yannick Vestergaard as a sort of joke, weren't they?
I'm going to vote for Yannick Vestergaard's dog, who's been given a walk around the training ground by the player league.
Great training ground, though.
Right, we've got to go. This is TalkSport. Glad that Alex thinks we go down, says one texter. You also made a statement that Spurs never win anything in the November before we beat United in the final. This is TalkSport. We'll do Chelsea next.
But the most important thing for him and Man City fans is they are now top of the Premier League. How does that make you feel as an Arsenal fan?
Yeah, it's one of those. I mean, I didn't watch the game. Because it's one of them.
I'm surprised you didn't, because with 5 minutes ago you'd have got very excited about it.
Yeah, no, but it's one of them where I expect when I saw them go one up after 6 minutes.
Yeah,
I went, here we go.
Yeah, me too.
Do you know what it means? But it's one of them where you have to just go, okay, fair enough. And I understand where some supporters are coming from when they say it's the best possible outcome. Because if Man City had gone to Burnley and beat them by 6, and you look at the goal difference, you're going, oh my goodness. But now everything is level apart from goals scored.
See, this is what I don't get. So we've got a WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it ticking away last night.
Oh, did you?
But Luke, who's a diehard, a devout Arsenal fan, he's nuts about Arsenal, right?
Yeah.
He actually said, he quoted what you've just said, actually, it's the best possible result Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, the best possible result is Man City losing.
But obviously that was never going to happen.
No, but also with 5 minutes to go, the then best possible result was Burnley nicking an equaliser.
Yeah, apart from Man City getting beat or drawing, they were the best two. But in terms of this scenario, 1-0 was perfect.
Yeah, but 1-0 is always better than 2-0, better than 3-0. So it's a little bit of a pointless saying.
Well, it's not, because if they go...
The best possible result we could have hoped, that's a lie.
Well, no, the best is...
It's the worst win.
Yes, but it's the worst, best result we could have hoped for. Because 1-0 against Burnley...
That's such a bad claim.
Okay, if they're going to be 8-0.
I know. Here's the thing, right? And one more Billy made this point. I'm not going to steal his thunder in the meeting. It was a great point. It wasn't that long ago Arsenal were 9 points clear. You'd ask an Arsenal...
After Rotterdam, these boos for Luke Littler in Liverpool were nothing.
If it gets worse than that, then yeah, something's up. But like I said, Rotterdam was far worse than tonight. And yeah, I even proved people last week that I can win games under them circumstances, and I've done it again.
A 6-1 win over Johnny Clayton puts Littler well into the Premier League playoff contention. Now reports Edin Terzic is set to become Athletic Bilbao head coach. That could mean Andoni Eriola goes to Chelsea, but would the owners give Eriola the control he wants?
You look at the way they've approached things so far, the answer you would suggest is no, because they've had top coaches before and they've not released the shackles in that way.
Former host Bob Wilson's told TalkSport he's hugely disappointed the BBC are getting rid of Football Focus after 52 years.
I think people love that programme, and I don't see how it can change dramatically in any other way than providing what it's providing now.
The show will continue to run until the end of the season, and F1 is heading back to Turkey from 2027. Istanbul Park will have races for at least 5 years. The course is popular with the drivers. There's more at talksport.com.
TalkSport, Sam Matterface, Alex Crook and Gabby Agbonlahor. We're here right the way through until 1 o'clock this afternoon. We are talking, we've been talking Spurs and lots of text messages coming in. Morning, Sam, Alex and Gabby. Just wondering if Gabby could give a shout out to my brother Paul. He's a massive Villa fan. I'm a Blues fan. He loves Gabby. He had a major operation on Wednesday. He's recovering in Sheffield Hospital today. If Gabby could send him a get well message and a quick recovery, I would be grateful. If you could include it in the podcast too, just in case he's just sleeping, I would be hugely grateful, says Steve.
Get well soon, Paul. I feel sorry for you having a brother who's a Birmingham City fan, but good on you. Get better soon, pal.
Chelsea have got a big semi-final on Sunday. They take on Leeds United. It's live on TalkSport. I'll be there with Stuart Pearce. In fact, Stuart and I have done the last 2 Chelsea games, so it'll be interesting to see how they develop under Callum McFarlane. Would a convincing performance against Leeds be more damning for the players or for Liam Rosenior?
I think it'll be shameful if the players suddenly turn up and bring their A game, because let's be honest, they didn't turn up against Brighton. They basically downed tools. They gave the board no choice but to sack Liam Rosenior. But we've seen this before. The last time Callum McFarlane was in charge, they went away at Manchester City. Nobody gave them a prayer, and they came away with a point. So I am expecting a much better performance from Chelsea at Wembley. But if I was a Chelsea fan, I would be far from happy about that. I think that's more damning than if they turned up and stunk the place out.
They also lost the second game of his tenure, which was against Fulham away from home, which was live on TalkSport. Cole Palmer and João Pedro missed the trip to Brighton. Pedro was training yesterday. Palmer not so sure if he's going to be back for this game or not. How big is this in the context of Chelsea's season?
João Pedro, yes. Cole Palmer, he hasn't turned up all season. I said this yesterday. If you were naming the England squad today, Eze, Gibbs-White and Morgan Rogers miles ahead of Cole Palmer. 22 appearances this season in the Premier League, only 9 goals, 1 assist, and his last goal was the 4th of March against Aston Villa. He's not turned up. And when there's a game where a manager needs one of his top players against Brighton, he's in the stands. What did the physio who picked the team under Moresca say? You know, you've got a 10% chance of getting injured, Cole. Take it easy against Brighton. Go and sit in the stand. Like, we come for the players like Cucurella, Enzo Fernandez, Garnacho maybe, but let's look closer to home as well. For me, Cole Palmer this season been a disappointment.
Not just this season, actually. If you look at his form in the second half of last season, this is a decline that's been going on for a long time.
He won the Club World Cup final single-handedly.
He turned up for that.
He turned the Conference League final on its head after half.
What about in the Premier League, the second half of last season?
Well, he played more games than anybody else, and he was certainly Chelsea's best player over the course of the season.
This season, though, he's not been good enough. When you look at
He's been struggling with a groin injury, and if you speak to Thomas Tuchel, he'll tell you that he couldn't run properly for the first half of the season.
When you look at your Maverick players like Cole Palmer, he's earning a lot of money, long-term contract, paid a good fee for him. He's not done enough, and I've been watching him as well in games, and he's throwing his hands up at João Pedro for not passing to him, and he thinks he's the main man. If you are the main man, Cole Palmer, show it, and you haven't. Cole Palmer and Phil
You can't
Foden.
sit here and hammer the Chelsea players and absolve Cole Palmer of responsibility. He's been as bad as the rest.
Exactly.
I didn't hammer anyone. I just
Your
asked
body
the
language
question.
looked like that, Sam.
Did it?
You want to defend Cole Palmer.
I just think
he's got to do a lot more.
Out of everybody, he's probably got more credit in the bank. I don't think any of them covered themselves in glory over the last couple of games. I think that's definitely true. And I think he actually started really well against Manchester United. He was strutting around the place and certainly enjoying himself in the first half. And then in the second half, Kobbie Mainoo just got closer to him and completely marked him out of the game. How do we feel about... Or how would you feel if you were in a dressing room going into a big semi-final and they changed the manager, which you weren't happy about? Yep. You know, you didn't like him anyway or whatever, because that's certainly the feeling we're getting from the Chelsea squad. You bring in the under-21 coach, who was only promoted in the January window to being one of the assistants anyway. He's going to take charge of 5, potentially 6 games. Does that just show the reality of the situation, that they can't keep parachuting people in? Or is it an acceptance from Chelsea that the rest of the season relies on one big Hail Mary?
Listen, they had to sack Liam Rosenior. It wasn't working. Players down tools. Now it's about, can we at any point in this season get over the line and luckily get Champions League football? Can we win the FA Cup? And then in the summer, I'm sure Chelsea Football Club changed their transfer policy. I'm sure they go for experienced players. We were talking about it yesterday, Sam and Crook. What manager's going to want this job? So people are saying Eriola. Would he? Would he want to go to Chelsea? I'm sure you said Crook, he'd been offered ridiculous record-breaking money for Bournemouth. And he's turned that down.
Yeah, but it's still a massive club. It's still one of the biggest clubs in English football. You can't bring in your own players?
Well, and certain players you can only bring in.
I do wonder if they're going to have to change their approach.
Are they really going to do that? They're going to say they're going to change their approach, but they've got 5 sporting directors, all of which has their own little fiefdom. Are you going to be able to break that up just in a whim, or is Baghdad Agbali going to walk in come May and say, right, you 5, you're all out. We're going to do it a different way now?
Well, let's get it out there, because they've not been put under the microscope enough. Particularly Paul Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart, who are the 2 main sporting directors. Yes, they've got people like Sam Jewell there as well.
Dave Fallows came in November. He's a new.
But how are Stewart and Winstanley still in a job when you look at the mess they've made of it at Chelsea in terms of the player recruitment, in terms of the hiring and firing of managers? Which, if you remember, I'm pretty sure when Todd Bowley came in, he said they weren't going to be that type of football club. They gave Graham Potter a long-term contract.
But Todd Bowley's not really the man who runs the football club.
But why is there not more scrutiny on these sporting directors who've made bad decision after bad decision, and they've turned a team that not that long ago under Thomas Tuchel were champions of Europe into a laughingstock?
Look at Chelsea centre-halves. Fofana, Chalobah, Badiashile, Achimong, goalkeeper Sanchez.
Not good enough,
Sanchez.
Sanchez.
All of them need replacing this summer.
But I don't think that we've shied away from bringing it up about those.
I don't think it's been talked about enough.
Oh, we've talked about it.
We
loads.
have.
We've talked about it loads. We even had a whole podcast where we talked about the role of the sporting director and how we didn't turn. We always turn our guns on managers and coaches.
But the fans turn their guns on Liam Rosenior.
I think the Chelsea fans have been protesting about the sporting directors. In fact, 500 of them organised a protest with Strasbourg supporters over the weekend, turned up outside Stamford Bridge and did have a go at the way the club was being run. So I do think for fans of those clubs, they know how their teams are operating. I think globally, as a sport, we need to hear a lot more and be able to question a lot more sporting directors. If they want all the power, if they want all the credit when it goes right, if they want to stand there on the stage when they've won the Club World Cup and pose with the trophy, then they've got to answer the questions.
If I was a manager now, I'll be saying, hang on a second, don't criticise me. I didn't bring these players in.
Well, we got the press release, didn't we? 5:20 on Wednesday. Relatively short statement confirming Liam Rosenior's departure. Nobody's put their name to it. There's not a quote from Ed Barley. There's not a quote from one of the numerous sporting directors we talked about. Nobody at that football club is taking accountability.
Do you reckon they all wrote a paragraph each? 0371 722 3344. We'll ask Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink what he thinks next.
The big news is that Liam Rosenior has been sacked by Chelsea after 5 straight Premier League losses in which Chelsea didn't score a single goal. That's their worst record since 1912. Now, Chelsea would have preferred Rosenior to stay and be judged in years rather than weeks, but it simply wasn't possible. And as a consequence, a mid-season change is needed. Even though Rosenior only got the job in January, what I can tell you is that the players have already been informed. They were off today, and Callum McFarland will take charge of the team until the end of the season on an interim basis. And that includes the weekend's FA Cup semi-final against Leeds United at Wembley. And then Chelsea in the summer will do a thorough process to replace Rosenior, but they're going to take their time with that. So Rosenior sacked after that loss to Brighton, arguably Chelsea's worst performance in many, many years. And it is an interim manager in Callum McFarland to take charge until the end of the season.
Ben, firstly, well done on breaking the news. I'm looking at all the other media outlets. We've got it before everyone, so I really appreciate you telling TalkSport first. Why the big change of heart? Because it wasn't that long ago the owners came out and almost confirmed the fact that they were going to stick with their manager, and they see him in that position for a long, long time. Why all of a sudden is it the change of heart? Is it the performance? Is it the result last night?
It's a results-driven business, and I also think that there was an...
Please welcome back, Will Traeger. You have 4 billion more listens than there are people on the planet.
On the planet.
Sad I've missed coming on the show.
It's your WhatsApp. It's your WhatsApp. It's your WhatsApp. It's your...
morning to you. It's TalkSport. It's Sam Matterface, Alex Crook, and the Gab father as well. We're here till 1 o'clock this afternoon. Thank you very much for lending us your ears on this Friday. Whatever you're doing, if you want to get in touch, you can do. Pretty easy. 81089 on the text. You can also call us 03717 223344. You can get in touch via WhatsApp on the same number as well. Right, okay, let's speak to the former Leeds and Chelsea striker Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink, who's partaking in a spot of paddle today. I tell you what, there is a curse of number 9s at Chelsea, and if you've done any research on it, you know that anyone who wears the number 9 usually struggles at Chelsea. You largely find yourself in serious trouble. And then there is Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink. And he just wipes all that away. It's all over. I bring goals. I bring energy. That is it. What are you doing today, Jimmy? And what are you up to? Tell us.
I am at a beautiful charity for grief encounter and playing paddle, what I absolutely love.
Are you any good?
I'm all right.
Are you as good as Gabby Agbonlahor, Darren Bent, who have been all playing quite a lot recently? And is he playing JT as well?
Yeah, Darren Bent is saying that Gabby is not that good. He's actually very poor. So
it sounds about right, Jimmy.
And he is. No, I'm okay. I'm enjoying it. I love it. So yeah.
Keeps you busy. And just tell us a little bit about the charity.
Yeah, the charity is absolutely magnificent, raising money for the children, for the families, and I'm absolutely so happy to be part of it and to do my part, to raise money and awareness.
And I know you're very good at helping people out whenever they give you a call. Did Chelsea not give you a call and ask you for a bit of help this week?
No call, nothing like that. So yeah, let's hope that things are being picked up and that they can put a string of results together, and that the feeling around the place is a little bit better than what it is at the moment, and have a strong finish of the season.
Jimmy, you've been a manager. Did you feel sympathy for Liam Rosenior? Because you could see he was stood in the dugout and his players had given up on him at Brighton in midweek. How must he have been feeling watching that performance, and what was your view on it?
Yeah, I think you always have sympathy for managers. I've stood there myself. It's not nice when your team is not performing at all and not transmitting any energy out, and from outside looking in, that they not really working hard enough, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that is always for me. It's always painful to see when that happens. So in that aspect, I do have a lot of sympathy for Liam. It's been a very difficult period of late for him, but also obviously for the club. And we all know the club has to do the right thing for themselves and make tough decisions. And unfortunately, as managers, when you don't have results, you get shown the door.
Jimmy, we obviously know Chelsea haven't got many leaders on the pitch, especially Reece James out injured. There's a big semi-final this weekend against your old club, Leeds, as well. Some of these players have to turn up, don't they? Otherwise, Leeds will beat them.
Well, I always say, you play football for yourself and for your family, to make your family proud. So that's what it is about, you when you cross that white line, it's for you and your teammates to come together, play for the shirt, but make yourself proud and your family, and that's what they need to go and do on Sunday. As simple as that.
Liam Delap has gone 21 games without scoring a goal. We talked about the number 9 issue. You were a brilliant striker. You scored a hell of a lot of goals.
He's obviously got potential, and we've seen him score goals before. What is he not doing at the moment? What is he not getting from his team that is holding him back, and how would you help him solve it?
I think it's for him. It's confidence. It's you know yourself, Gabby, when you're out there and you're not having a rhythm. You know, then he plays, then he doesn't. Then he gets 10 minutes, then he doesn't. You know, and when you are not scoring and it's taking a long time, you get to doubt yourself. And I think yes, he needs coaching, because here and there I think he can be in better positions. But I think majority is it's self-belief, it's confidence. You don't lose your ability from one day to another. You don't become out of a sudden a bad player from one day to another. So it's all in the head, and it's all somebody, you know, giving you that love and that belief. And you know also yourself, when that first goal goes in, sometimes you can't stop scoring, and that is just one of those things.
Jimmy, I remember watching you, and I remember how clinical you were. You know, if you had a chance, you were finishing it left foot, right foot, outside the box, inside the box. I think Liam Delap as well, sometimes he's getting chances, but he's snatching at them, isn't he? And in the Premier League, sometimes you might get one chance only in a game. You've got to finish it.
Yeah, but that is I think I never believe that he can do it, and he has got the temperament to be able to do it. But I think he's wanting too much at the moment. If you look how he plays, he makes too many free kicks. He goes too much out of the center position, and there's those kind of things where it starts. You know, it's about calming him down. It's about giving him a vision and saying that you believe in him, and as I just said, you don't become a bad player overnight. Yes. You know, so yeah, he needs to start believing in himself again.
Obviously, you played for Leeds as well, won the Golden Boot as a Leeds player, I think I'm right in saying, back in the late 90s. So maybe divided loyalties for you this weekend. There's a big rivalry as well, isn't there, between Chelsea and Leeds, which adds a bit of extra spice to the afternoon.
Yeah, it's massive. It's a massive rivalry. I want both clubs to do really well. I love them both. Leeds has been absolutely magnificent for me, putting me on the map. And then I've had 4 beautiful years at Chelsea. It's going to be an epic semi-final. I think it will be spicy. I think hopefully we can have it a little bit old-fashioned, that a few tackles are allowed to be flying about, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to the game on Sunday.
And the Dutch, how are they going to get on the World Cup?
They're going to do absolutely magnificent.
You said that very confidently. Oh, look, good luck to you. Yes. You believe.
Thank you.
Jimmy, I know you've got to play JT.
I'm a believer, mate. I'm a believer.
You're playing JT at paddle a little bit later on. Are you as good at paddle as you are at dancing?
I am better at dancing, mate. Better at dancing.
Okay. All right, well, enjoy it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink, who joins us live from a special event today, Grief Encounter. He's representing the UK-based charity dedicated to supporting bereaved children, young people and their families with the death of someone close. The organisation provides 3 therapy services, family workshops and a therapeutic weekend residentials, helping young people find hope and healing during the most difficult time in their lives. Grief Encounter's vision is a world where no child grieves alone. The charity's mission is to help grieving children and families get what they need. To donate to Grief Encounter, you can go to griefencounter.org. griefencounter.org.uk/donation. Purple Rain, brilliant dance on Strictly. No Time to Die, superb. And Chelsea Dagger by the Fratellis. The 3 of the iconic Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink hip swivelling moves.
Have you down as a Strictly fan? I've proudly never watched an episode, so I can't comment.
Come on, Crookie.
I had to Google it. Right, okay.
What a player, though, Sam, as well.
Oh, mate, he was
growing up, mate. You know that power shot from outside the box? Yeah. Just never really side foot. Bang, goal, bang, goal.
And also he had the temperament as well, right? Because, as I said, that Chelsea number 9 shirt is very heavy. It weighs very heavily on people's shoulders.
He had it all.
He just walked in, went, bosh, have some of that.
Pace,
goals,
strength,
goals.
left foot, right. He even had the left foot smash.
Yeah.
Either foot. Whatever you want. Top player.
Top player, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink, join us live this lunchtime. If you want to get in touch, 03717 223344. We'll talk about Arsenal and Newcastle, who clash tomorrow, 5:30. We've got a big weekend of football to discuss as well that's live on TalkSport. Sunderland, Nottingham Forest kicks us off tonight. We've got Fulham, Aston Villa, the 2 semi-finals as well. And Monday Night Football takes us to Old Trafford for Manchester United against Brentford. This is TalkSport with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com.
It's expensive as well, living in Paris, by the sounds of it, Emmanuel. It's expensive being Emanuel Petit, by the sounds of it as well.
No, so happy to be Emanuel Petit, you know.
Oh, quite right.
If I was not Emanuel Petit, I wish I would be. I could be Emanuel Petit. Honestly, my life is beautiful. You
well,
know?
Let's get into this. What do you like about him?
Well, I always do what I like, you know. I don't do things because I don't want to do it. And this is a luxury, especially nowadays. People would think, okay, with the money he earned, but I gave everything to my ex-wives. I had 3 divorces and I gave the half of it to the States too. So, but I'm still very happy. I try, you know, every single morning when I wake up, I want to stay positive because life is beautiful. I know it's very difficult, but if you want things to change in your life, you have to be positive. This is my religion.
Coming on this show often might change that.
Well, I was going to say,
if I have to come every single day with Simon, maybe it will change after a month.
I'm positive. I was going to say, Emmanuel, you only do things in life that you want to do, and you're sitting beside him.
It's a luxury, actually, because
it's a luxury.
Most of the people, they don't have the choice to do it.
Do you know when you won it in '98? What was the culture?
Talk Sport Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Commercial vehicles that go the distance for your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
Studio headlines at 11:01. I'm Nick Ellaby. Good morning. Former Burnley striker Charlie Austin's told TalkSport it's time for the club to say goodbye to Scott Parker.
Sometimes you can obviously overstay your welcome at a football club and it can turn a bit stale. That's why I can agree with that Burnley fan calling up yesterday and saying he's not the man to take us forward. But Burnley also have got to be careful what they wish for.
Austin doesn't think Parker has a great connection with the Burnley fans. The club were relegated this week after the loss to Man City. Arne Slot says he's got total confidence in third-choice goalkeeper Freddie Woodman. Alisson and Mamardashvili are out injured, so Woodman steps in for the Crystal Palace game tomorrow.
He won the Euros with the under-17s, and I think with the under-20s he won the World Cup. And then he made himself a career at Newcastle, at Preston North End, and has the experience to play. And apart from that, he's a very good man, and he's very liked in the dressing room.
Alisson is close to a Liverpool return after his hamstring injury. Now, former host Bob Wilson's told us he is hugely disappointed with the BBC, who are getting rid of Football Focus after 52 years.
I think people love that programme, and I don't see how it can change dramatically in any other way than providing what it's providing now.
Football Focus will run till the end of the season. Formula One is heading back to Turkey from 2027. Istanbul Park will have races for at least 5 years. The course is popular with the drivers. And all-rounder Samit Patel's retiring from cricket, as well as 25,000 first-class runs and almost 1,000 wickets. Patel played 6 Test matches, 36 ODIs and 18 T20 internationals for England. Loads more on this season's County Championship on our podcast following on and TalkSport's cricket YouTube channel.
TalkSport News.
The US is considering reviewing its support for Britain's claim to the Falkland Islands, and are self-service checkouts tempting good, honest people to steal from supermarkets? Sinead has that in half an hour.
TalkSport weather with QuickFit. The tyre transfer window is hotting up and we've signed a multi-generational talent with Continental Tyres. Visit quickfit.com and book today.
Another bright sunny day, slightly warmer than yesterday, less windy as well, staying warm and settled into the weekend.
Sam Ryder! Please welcome back Will Traeger Show! You have 4 billion more listens than there are people on the planet.
On the planet.
Sad I've missed coming on your show.
It's your WhatsApp. It's your WhatsApp. It's your WhatsApp. It's your...
Hello, good morning to you. It's Fun Boy Friday with me, Sam Matterface, the boy Crookmeister, and we've got Gabby Agbonlahor here. We're talking Arsenal and Newcastle in this section of the programme. The reason being, big fixture for both. Going to hear from Eddie Howe in just a second, but first of all, time for this.
Series on TalkSport with BetMGM. Watch the latest Inside Series episode live on TalkSport's YouTube channel now. 18+, gambleaware.org.
And this week on Inside Toon, Sean Custis gave us his take on Alan Shearer's comments about Anthony Gordon not playing for Newcastle while he could go to Bayern for £75 million.
I saw a couple of comments from Shearer after the Bournemouth game, again questioning whether Anthony Gordon really is as unfit as was being made out. What do you make of it all?
Shearer just doesn't get a player who doesn't want to be out there, even if he's on one leg. He expects, because he would go out there when he wasn't 100% fit, and he believed he could still do a job for the team and that he was important to the cause. If you think how angry he was when Michael Owen didn't want to play when he was acting manager, and that festers now. What are we, 18 years on from...
And rightly so, by the way.
Yes. Yes.
Rightly so.
Yeah. But that is why he looks at somebody like Anthony Gordon and says, it's the tune. How can you not want to go out and play? You're important to the cause. A 70% Anthony Gordon is going to be important to us, so get out there. He's not one for understanding why somebody wouldn't want to put the black and white shirt on.
And don't forget, you can watch the latest Inside Series episodes live on TalkSport's YouTube channel now. That's all thanks to BetMGM 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Inside Series on TalkSport with BetMGM. Watch the latest Inside Series episode live on TalkSport's YouTube channel now. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Newcastle. OK, let's hear from Eddie Howe, who's been speaking this morning about the difficult moment that Newcastle find themselves in.
We're all feeling that pain at the moment. You know, it's been a difficult period for us. I think we're very determined to try and put that right. We're very determined to try and win as many games as we can. Prided ourselves on, historically, even if we lose a game, fighting to the end, giving everything to try and get a result. I feel the players are currently at the moment maybe lacking in a little bit of confidence. We've lost a little bit of our normal, regular flow and rhythm that we've had in historical times. There's only one way to refine that, though, and that's through, in my opinion, hard work, really good period of training, players staying very stable mentally and seeing it for what it is, and just trying to rediscover and enjoy their football and try and find their best form again.
Sometimes it depends on your personality. And I think some people are of a breed where hard work is always the answer, right? So if you've got a problem, you're working your way through it, you're bogged down by it, you're not at your best, you just think, if I work hard, I'll get through the other side. Is that always the right recipe, especially in a dressing room?
Of course it is. Hard work. Saying, isn't there, hard work beats talent? You know, the players that are going through a tough spell at Newcastle, go out and show. The likes of Whistler, the likes of Voltemada. Why is Osulu playing in front of you? Go out and show Harvey Barnes. You got a taste of Thomas Tuchel's squad. Go and show these last 5 games of the season why you should be on the plane to the World Cup. Elanga, has he scored yet? I don't think he scored yet in the Premier League for Newcastle.
No, he's only got, I think he's only, he scored against Manchester City in the Cup semi-final, second leg, and against Barcelona. Yeah, you're right.
So go out and show these last 5 games. Give your manager something. Give your football club something. I said it last week after the game, defeat to Bournemouth. Eddie Howe deserves another go at this in the summer. He deserves another go at it.
Will Eddie be reflecting a little bit, though, on the way this season has gone and the way they've approached it? Because I just mentioned the hard work thing there, because that is Eddie's answer to everything. Yeah. He works really hard. There's not a manager, probably, maybe David Moyes, who does more hours than Eddie Howe. He lives and breathes it. He studies everything. He works incredibly hard. He's a good coach. But sometimes do you have to take the workload off for the players, and maybe for him as well, and have a little bit more time where you're decompressing so that you're fresher going into matches, especially when you're trying to balance Champions League, Carabao Cup, and Premier League?
Yeah, I think that's fair because they do look mentally as well as physically tired. But you're dead right about Eddie Howe. It won't be through lack of hard work on his part. First in, last out of the training ground has always been his mantra ever since he became Bournemouth manager at a very young age. But again, we've been talking about the fact that managers tend to take the flak now. Managers pay the price when performances and results aren't going their way. But the players need to take responsibility as well. And I do wonder with Newcastle's decline this season, how much of it is because there's a lot of players there who are either trying to protect themselves for the World Cup to make sure they're fully fit for that tournament, or are already looking towards the summer, because Tonali's agent was making it clear in January that he wants out. Anthony Gordon, the Bayern Munich rumours aren't going away, and I think he's played within himself at certain points this season. Tino Livramento, unfortunately, is injured again. Doesn't sound like he'll play again this season from what Eddie said this morning, but he's another player who is not going to sign a new contract, so he wants away. And I wonder if that vicious sort of circle is all conspiring against Eddie Howe at the wrong time.
What I like about Eddie Howe is he's come out and says he's going to play players that are committed to the club. Doesn't care about players that are coming for 50 million, 60 million, 40 million. Vissa and Voltemada, I don't care what's been paid for you. If Osulu's doing it, he's playing. That's what I like. If it doesn't matter how big of a name you are, you're worth to a club. A top manager will play the players that deserve to play.
Yeah, Will Osulu you're talking about, not Osulu, just in case.
Same thing. You know what I mean?
We both played for the club.
But Birmingham, we say that about Osulu.
Yeah, only because the ref was getting confused and he needed a little bit of translation. He doesn't speak from it.
Doesn't he?
No. Alex said there that sometimes, well, he mentioned Anthony Gordon specifically, players that play within themselves. Do you think that happens when there's a potential of a big move going forward? Or is it sometimes actually confidence, burnout, whatever, sometimes just restricts you? And even if you are trying your very, very best, it sometimes can look as if you're playing within yourself. How do you see that panning out?
I think playing within yourself is dangerous in a way because...
Do you think it happens?
Yeah, I think it does happen. Maybe when you come into the end of the season and you might have a move lined up, or some of these players are going to the World Cup and Newcastle's predicament now, what are they playing for really?
Yeah, what's the motivation?
Do you know what I mean? So maybe like players that have been out injured, okay, let me play within myself, World Cup's coming. But if you're mid-season and you know you're not going to even be down for a move until the summer, playing within yourself is dangerous. And Eddie Howe is not the sort of player that will let you train within yourself.
No.
Yeah, training, Sam, honestly, my last year at Villa, training was as hard as games. Let's not get this twisted for all the people that don't see football training in Premier League clubs, Championship clubs, any club really. Training is hard. You're doing like sometimes 11v11s. You're doing loads of runs, loads of sprints. You're telling me if anyone's taking it easy, Eddie Howe's going to go and play him on the weekend. No chance. So you can't
This is a good game for Arsenal.
Well, I was going to say, talking of playing within themselves, Arsenal have won 10 games by just 1 goal in the Premier League this season. That means almost half their wins have been by a single goal margin, 10 of 21, which is 48%, which is the highest percentage by a potential champion since Leicester in 2016. They did 61%. How do they raise themselves after Sunday's defeat to Manchester City for this game?
I think they'll be positive. You know, speaking to Mikel Arteta in the tunnel at the Etihad, he certainly wasn't downbeat. He wasn't frustrated. He wasn't angry. I think he was quite pleased with the way they played. It was arguably one of Arsenal's better performances in recent weeks. And then City go to Burnley, live on TalkSport on Wednesday. We all knew they would win at Turf Moor. It was a question of how many they would win by. But they didn't put the foot down. They didn't get the goals they needed to really damage Arsenal in terms of the goal difference. So I'm expecting a positive performance from Arsenal. They're going to have to go chasing a bit more than maybe is in his nature, because it could come down to who scores the most goals between now and the end of the season. But if you could pick one team in the Premier League, there aren't many with nothing to play for. I think Newcastle is just about the perfect opponent for Arsenal.
Arsenal play Newcastle United at home, Atletico Madrid midway through the week in the Champions League, and then Fulham at home before City play again in the Premier League, which is against Everton, live on TalkSport. Opta still has Arsenal's favourites with their supercomputer. How far will Arsenal be ahead by the time we get to that Monday Night Football?
I think that's definitely 6 points ahead.
Definitely?
Yes, definitely. I had a bet yesterday morning on Arsenal to win the Premier League. Got decent odds. Manchester City are favourites, obviously because they went top. But I look at the fixtures ahead, and I look at Arsenal's next two. Like you said, Newcastle, not much to play for. Fulham at home. Arsenal will beat Fulham at home. Some of Man City's games are tough. Bournemouth away is it? Brentford at home. Teams that are fighting for European football. But it comes, but it comes from the manager though. The manager has to say to the Arsenal players on Saturday, okay, shackles are off. Go and attack. Don't play Hincapié, play Calafiori.
Are they capable of that?
Yes, they are. Play your attacking fullbacks.
In fairness, Calafiori wasn't fit for the weekend.
Yeah, but Calafiori or Luis Skelly, you're playing the more attacking fullbacks. Yeah. Go and put it on Newcastle. You're 2-0 up after 60 minutes. Go for the third, because this could go down to goals scored. Goal difference, goal scored.
Well, it is going down to goals scored right now. Yeah. Manchester City are top for that reason.
So why not? You could end up 2 games in hand on Manchester City. Manchester City will have 2 games in hand on you. You could be 6 points ahead, and your goal difference could be like 6 goals ahead.
Is there a danger, though, that the Champions League takes a little bit of energy out of a team that already look as if they're sort of cramping up a little bit?
That's a concern. I do think fatigue is a concern. Is Bukayo Saka going to be back this weekend? If so, how fit is he? Declan Rice looks to me like a player in need of a rest. So, yeah, City do look fresher at this moment in time.
Haven't Arsenal fans come out there and said, is it the great Piers Morgan, the best squad ever seen in world football? So use your squad of players. If you have to rest Saliba, Mascara going at centre-half, Hincapié going at centre-half, they've got the squad.
Yeah, I don't know if he's done that enough.
I know, but they've got the squad.
But now's not the time to do it, right? Because this is the business end of the season. You need your best players producing their very best at the biggest moments. If you're going to rest players and keep them fit, you've got to do that in the early part of the season.
Interesting who he starts on the weekend, Havertz or Gyökeres.
And arguably, actually, and I mentioned this in commentary on Monday night, Oliver Glasner, when you look at the way that he has managed his squad over the course of the season, he's done a very, very good job. Because I think you criticised him. We were raising eyebrows when some of those early Conference League games, that he was resting players, not playing his best team. He even sacrificed a match against Coops at the end of December, which meant they had to play a playoff.
Hard on him after that.
You did go hard on him about that. But actually, all of his big players are available for the business end of the season, with the exception of Adam Wharton, who just picked up an injury. But he should be back pretty soon as well. Yeah. So he deserves credit for the way that he has managed that situation. And you mentioned Saka just a moment ago. Arsenal have got a 73% win ratio, and they average 2.5 points per game with him in the team. Without him, their win ratio slips to 45%. Somebody else has got to come up with the creativity.
Yeah, they have. I mean, obviously they've got Madueke there. I think there's a lot of Arsenal fans who still feel young Max Dowman should get more of a chance, but it's asking a lot of somebody so young to carry the fight at this stage of the season. So, yeah, they need Saka fit as soon as possible. So do England, by the way, because I talked about Saka and Rice. They're going to be 2 of England's most important players this summer. We don't want them undercooked. If you win that bet, by the way, you get the coffees in.
Which bet's that?
Oh, Arsenal to win?
Arsenal to win the title.
I will Crookie. I'll get the coffees in.
Well, Crookie's got to get the coffees in today because he was late.
Well, I wasn't late actually. He was
a bit
last
late,
in.
isn't it?
He was last in.
Oh no, you were late. You were late. He came in
But why was I
sweating
late,
today,
though?
didn't he?
Because I
you
want to
couldn't
make
get
a
up the
complaint,
hill.
actually. I
You
want to
couldn't
make
get
a
up the hill.
complaint to the line bike. So I get off the train, I scan the line bike, get on it, it's working perfectly. All of a sudden I'm thinking, it feels quite harder to pedal here. What's going on?
Were you giving Crookie a backing?
People flying past me, go past King's Cross.
Like you're playing this.
Yeah. Go past King's Cross. It becomes a bit hilly past King's Cross. And I'm like, where's the power? So my line bike had no electric, so I've come in sweating.
Power's in your legs.
No, mate, it's power, mate. Got the electric.
Got the electric boost. You need the electric
I had no electric in my line bike, so I'll make a complaint. I've come in dripping with
That's
sweat.
what Mrs. Agbonlahor told us as well. Great show. Still not getting over the fact that Gabby has a prep sheet, says Jill. Rich says, morning, gents. Eddie Howe's done a brilliant job, but he doesn't deserve another shot next season. The 25 points drop from winning position is just not defendable. There'll be players leaving this summer. It's time for a manager to change too. It's a shame to say, but he looks lost on the touchline. It's the same formation and tactics that have gone stale. For me, bring in Sebastian Hoeneß from Stuttgart, or if you want a Premier League proven manager, Glasner or Silva.
Can I ask you something quickly, both of you?
Yeah.
Do you think, though, if end of the season, Newcastle and Eddie Howe, both sides decided, let's call it a day, Eddie Howe
breathes into
name
another
what job you want?
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like Chelsea, okay, there you go. Newcastle fans shouldn't go too hard on Eddie Howe because maybe Eddie Howe's looking at it and saying, I've took Newcastle as far as I can.
Yeah. That's what I've always seen as the most likely outcome.
Yeah. Shake hands, thanks for everything.
And he should go out as a hero.
Exactly.
Because of what he's achieved at that football
100%.
club.
Well, it should give him the opportunity to go and rebuild the whole squad again because he could do that too. Whether or not they fancy
Maybe
him
he
doing
wants
that.
to change.
Maybe he wants to change.
If he did leave, I'm not sure he'd necessarily bounce straight back into another job. He deliberately took a bit of a sabbatical after leaving Bournemouth.
I'd enjoy a bit of time on Bournemouth Beach.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not? It's a nice beach, as you well know, Gabby.
I do indeed.
Don't need a line bike there to get around, do you? Still obviously always sweating, though. This is TalkSport, Sam Matterface and Alex Crook and Gabby Agbonlahor. We're here through till 1 o'clock this afternoon with Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go.
What's happened?
Hello, matey.
What's happened?
You all right?
How are you, matey? You good?
I'm all right. Yeah, very well. Thank you very much.
Gaffer's gone.
Yeah.
Gaffer's
after
slapped.
Yeah, last night's performance
Slap.
was unacceptable, mate.
Yeah, he got slapped.
Yeah, something.
Slap.
That could not stay the same. The run of results and performances have just led to this. I mean, you heard me last night. I was absolutely crestfallen last night.
Thought he done well, mate. Thought he done well.
Well,
First
the
2 minutes,
fact
he
that
was
he's
good.
gone suggests that he didn't. You know, it's one of those situations that something had to give, and we weren't. You know, you can't go through over 8 hours of football without scoring a match in a game in the Premier League. You can't do that. Those glasses look ridiculous.
What do you mean?
Are they hurting your eyes? I'll put them on. They start to.
I can't see nothing.
So if I do some hand signals to you, you won't see them.
No, I can't see. I actually genuinely. I'm disappointed. He's a good manager, Rosenior.
Well,
playing some good stuff.
He may well be in the future a very good manager, but right here, right now, things were falling apart at the seams, and they were falling apart quite quickly.
The one and only Sam Ryder. Please welcome back Will. billion more listens than there are people on the planet.
On the planet.
Swear I've missed coming on the show.
It's your WhatsApp. It's your WhatsApp. It's your WhatsApp. It's your.
Very good Friday to you, and TFI Friday Unplugged is back on Channel 4. When I was a kid, right? Not a kid, actually, when I was a teenager, TFI Friday was an absolute must watch. Chris Evans was my hero. I used to wake up and listen to him on Radio 1 back in the day. Now we get to hear him on Virgin Radio.
Legendary.
And TFI Friday Unplugged is back on Channel 4. Your favourite TV show from the 90s, my favourite TV show from the 90s is back, and Chris Evans and TFI Friday have returned to their original home for the next 5 Friday nights from 11 o'clock. Reimagined for 2026 by Virgin Radio UK, TFI Unplugged features A-list interviews, music and classic bits from the TFI archives 30 years on. Watch TFI Unplugged this Friday from 11 p.m. on Channel 4. And this week's guests include Love Actually and Death in Paradise actor Chris Marshall, very funny man, Emma Laird, the actress, and from the archives, legendary rock and roller Sir Paul McCartney joins the team. So that's this Friday night at TFI Unplugged on Channel 4. Make sure you get on that.
Don't you just love Chris, though?
I love Chris. He's a hero when I was a kid.
He's been coming in a little bit into the show in the morning.
Has he?
And he's like, honestly, the energy. High energy, funny, love him.
Love it. Talking of high energy, Paul says, Gabby, did you relax as a player 4 games before the end of the season, knowing that nothing can be won or lost?
Not that you relax, but you're not full throttle, if that makes sense. If you're feeling something, you're not risking an injury with 4 games to go when there's nothing to play for.
So was that not shortchanging the supporters that had paid their hard-earned cash to come and watch you?
Maybe. Never mind.
That didn't bother you?
No. Not one bit, mate.
But why not, though? Because obviously everything's competitive. Places will reward you with extra prize money. There was a possibility of maybe putting yourself in the shop window and getting into an England squad. Why would you say that?
When I say like...
Or is that just conserving energy? Is that just real?
No, but not when I say not full throttle, I mean like if you're feeling something and you've got like Champions League positions, Europa League positions, you're just like, okay, you might have an injury where you might need an injection on to get you through games. A lot of players were doing. But if you're coming to the end of the season, say these Newcastle players with not much to play for, you're probably not doing that. You'd say maybe the Brazilian players that might go to the World Cup are going to do things like that. If they've got a knock, they're like, okay.
So is that just the reality of the situation? And it doesn't happen with every team. It certainly doesn't happen every season. But if you just happen to find yourself in that mid-block where it's all a bit meh and there's nothing to play for,
and you've got a big World Cup.
It's okay to loosen off.
And you've got a big World Cup coming. You're telling me like it's the last game of the season. Anthony Gordon, Guimaraes, Joe Linton.
What does that do for the integrity of the Premier League?
What about a player? But what about a player for a World Cup?
Arsenal.
Yeah, but what about a player looking at, okay, Guimaraes, been out injured, got a World Cup coming. You tell me if he feels something little, he's not going to be like, okay, I'm going to come off now. The dream is for players to go to a World Cup. He's looking at the Newcastle situation now and like, okay, we can't really get European places now. It's looking like a bit of a task. We can't go down. Like Crook said earlier, this is a game that you want to play. Newcastle now, one of the only teams in the Premier League that aren't playing for anything.
Interesting. Gabby used to relax at the start of the season as well, says Dean.
It was August, kids' holidays.
Sun was out. And you know what happens to you when the sun comes out?
Kids are off school, mate. Had to take them to the park. Do you know what I mean, Crookie? Take them for an ice cream to the park. I mean,
what's your favourite ice cream?
Vanilla.
Of course it is.
Of course it is.
Of course it is.
Safe.
Gents, normal, same-minded Newcastle fans do not want Eddie Howe replaced. The fans who have suddenly become Newcastle fans since the takeover and are the voices that are calling for change. A very large percentage of fans who have been there through the dark days under Ashley are very much Eddie Howe in. That's Ian, the Newcastle United fan.
Be careful what you wish for as well, I would say to people who want Eddie Howe gone.
He's done a brilliant job. Yeah. Listen, we get accused of being a little bit sort of Eddie Howe fanboyish, but we are, because we've spent a lot of time with him over the course of the last 20 plus years, and we know how hard he works, and we know what he's been through to get to the point where he's looking after a club as big as Newcastle United.
We don't know what happens at the World Cup. If it's not going to plan, it's a disaster. I'm sure Thomas Tuchel won't be in charge, and then Eddie Howe surely is the next one in line.
Interesting. 03717.
FA Sam, you agree with that, or you're on the fence?
I think we'll move on from there. 81089 on the text. I'm hoping that it goes very well.
So am I,
as you can imagine.
Yes.
It's going to be hot though, Gab. It's going to be hot.
Too hot, isn't it, for us to win it, Crooker? Is that right?
Are you actually going to come out to the World Cup?
I'm not sure, mate. I'm not sure yet. It depends
I heard
if
a whisper that you'd started to apply for your visa.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've been offered some corporate tickets for the semi-final and final.
Have you?
Yeah, so
they're worth about 40 grand. Those tickets.
No, isn't the final £2 million a ticket? I'm hearing crazy money. So yeah, maybe I'll.
How much?
I've seen it earlier on. There's tickets going for $2 million for the final.
Crikey!
You not see that, Sam?
So it'll just be you and Alan Brazil in there. 03717 223344 is the number to call if you want to get in touch. This is Talk Sport with Sam Matterface, Alex Crook, and Gabby Agbonlahor.
I don't know where West Ham's next win will be. I don't know where Spurs is will be. But if Spurs beat Wolves, which is the easiest game out of all the fixtures combined, I wouldn't put my ass on West Ham beating Everton, Brentford, Arsenal, Newcastle or Leeds. And if Spurs beat Wolves, West Ham are going to have to beat one of those teams. Or get a few draws, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can't see that happening. So now I'm sort of, I don't really know where my money is as to who's going down now.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought, and I've said to you before, I thought Spurs would survive. I just think they've got a bit more about them. I know they haven't won a game in 2026, a league game, but it probably was a little bit of a missed opportunity last night. To be fair, it could have got a lot worse because they had chances. When Brennan Johnson's header, he probably should have done a lot better with that. Yeah. Goal obviously ruled out, rightly so, with the handball. But yeah, it's going to be a difficult one for West Ham. I mean, they're both playing at the same time, which is quite interesting at the weekend. So at least there's not one almost. Oh my goodness, they've won.
Neither on telly, right? They're both Saturday afternoon.
Both 3 o'clocks. So
I can't remember. You got that stick, haven't you?
What stick?
Huh?
What stick?
So you can watch games?
No, I haven't got no stick.
I thought you got Premier League TV.
Yeah, code, not stick.
That's what I mean. That's what I meant. Sorry, Darren.
Use the word code, please.
I meant code.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating. But yeah, I think West Ham will see it as an opportunity missed. But I said yesterday when we were predicting scores, for me, it just had draw written all over it. Palace, I know maybe, obviously, after getting through in the Europe and going back home and making changes, Palace at home were just quite hard to play against, quite solid, quite rigid in their shape as well. I've got players hit you on the counter-attack, can defend deep if they have to. And I think one thing that West Ham, I know they've...
After Rotterdam, these boos for Luke Littler in Liverpool were nothing.
If it gets worse than that, then yeah, something's up. But like I said, Rotterdam was far worse than tonight. And yeah, I even proved people last week that I can win games under them circumstances, and I've done it again.
A 6-1 win over Johnny Clayton puts Littler well into the Premier League playoff contention. Now reports Edin Terzic is set to become Athletic Bilbao head coach. That could mean Andoni Eriola goes to Chelsea, but would the owners give Eriola the control he wants?
You look at the way they've approached things so far, the answer you would suggest is no, because they've had top coaches before and they've not released the shackles in that way.
Former host Bob Wilson's told TalkSport he's hugely disappointed the BBC are getting rid of Football Focus after 52 years.
I think people love that programme, and I don't see how it can change dramatically in any other way than providing what it's providing now.
The show will continue to run until the end of the season, and F1 is heading back to Turkey from 2027. Istanbul Park will have races for at least 5 years. The course is popular with the drivers. There's more at talksport.com.
TalkSport, Sam Matterface and the Crookmeister in the studio. I don't know what Gabby's been doing. What have you been doing out, filling out the last few bits of your visa out there? Why you've only just come back in the studio?
It takes a while, but have you done it?
No, not yet. But they were just checking on me there about the line bike situation. So
Were they?
I hope I'm okay. The thigh's okay, the lower back.
Yeah, he's pulled a quad. Right, it's time for this. All thanks to BetMGM.
It's showtime on TalkSport with BetMGM. We're ready for the action. Are you? Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
TalkSport brings you Dan Tao, superstar from BetMGM, to look at today's top sporting events and discuss the latest odds. You all right, Dan?
Morning, Sam. How are you, mate?
We're very good, thank you. Where are you in the world? Are you at home this week? Are you abroad? Are you doing a meeting?
I'm at home this week. I'm going to football races this evening.
Oh, lovely,
so I'm looking forward to that. But I'm just still in shock that Gabby's found a ticket for the World Cup final at £2 million.
Yes, so, some people are across the news, Dan, and if you have a look after the show, you'll see some tickets are going for $2 million for the final, my friend.
Gab, if I was you, just tap up Crookie. He'll know someone who can sort you out.
Oh, really? Crookie loves a freebie.
Where's my invite to Fonwell? That's my local track, that, Dan.
There you go. Yeah. He doesn't know someone. He just basically bludgeons people who have these events and just says, well, why haven't you invited me? I don't understand.
I'm actually a Fonwell member, but I'm not planning on attending tonight.
Oh, that's a shame.
That was said with feeling. Talking about feeling, there was some iffy feelings last night, night 12 in Liverpool, the BetMGM Premier League darts. But Luke Littler came through it.
He did, yeah. We're getting close to the end now. Johnny Clayton nearly made it 390 wins on the spin, but as you said, he lost out to Luke Littler, who took revenge on the Welshman and dispatched him fairly quickly, actually, once we got to the final 6-1. On the route to the final, Littler also saw off world number 2, Luke Humphreys, who, despite having more 180s and a better average, his finishing let him down. I think it was 18% or something very, very low for a player of his calibre. And another week goes past where he hasn't won a nightly event, which is slightly unthinkable at the start of the tournament. But Leeds is in a couple of weeks' time, and he'll be hoping for his homecoming. He can find a bit of form for that. After a slow start to the Premier League, Littler is now motoring ahead. He's 4-6 to win the tournament. He's still not top. He's still 3 points behind Clayton, but third and fourth place is still very much up for grabs as we head to Aberdeen for next week.
He probably won't be his own, but he did tell us last night, put your mortgage on Luke Littler to win the whole thing now, said the Crookmeister.
I thought the odds might be a little bit more generous from the sponsors.
Let's see what happens. Let's get into a weekend of live football. The FA Cup semi-finals are live on TalkSport. 5:15 tomorrow. It's Manchester City against Southampton, with Manchester City looking to become the first side ever to get to 4 successive FA Cup finals, and Chelsea taking on Leeds under new guidance.
Yeah, let's start with City Southampton tomorrow. But based on paper and markets, do you think it was a fairly straightforward for City to reach another final? But Southampton unbeaten in their last 20 across all competitions, and they're looking to reach their first final since 2003 when Crookie they lost to whom?
Arsenal, but that was when Klaus Lunditvarm should have been sent off after about 3 minutes, wasn't it? At Cardiff.
Very good, yeah. At the Millennium Stadium, now known as the Principality.
Perez got the winner, did he?
Sorry?
Perez got the winner, I
Don't give
think.
him too much credit here, Dan. He was covering the South Coast at the time. He was working for a South Coast media agency.
That's very
part
good
of his
knowledge,
job.
Let's give him a bit of credit.
I
but,
did have one
yeah.
stat for you for this game, though, Dan. Pep Guardiola, I think he's lost 7 FA Cup ties. One was at Wigan in 2018. The other 6 defeats have all been at Wembley.
Yeah.
I think really, that's
They
interesting. Didn't know
always
that.
get there, that's why.
You do so
Didn't
much
know that.
research, Crookie. Well done, mate.
Yeah, well done, Crookie.
Where's
but
your prep sheet?
It's all up top.
Man City are 1-6 to win the game. Southampton are a 12-1 chance. And then we go on to
Sunday, Chelsea versus Leeds. Yep, that's it. Instantly forgettable, is it?
Yeah, well, Callum McFarlane, 2 weeks ago, he was prepping for an under-21s game against Fulham. And now he heads to set up a team for the FA Cup semi-final. A lot been made about Chelsea and their inability to score in the last 5 Premier League games, but the FA Cup has been the complete opposite, scoring 20 goals so far, which included obviously the 7-0 win against Port Vale. Leeds in decent form, unbeaten their last 7 in all competitions. We'll be coming to this with plenty of confidence, you'd think, and plenty of punters will think they present some value at 12-5. Chelsea's the even money favourites and the draw at 5-2. Outright, City are the 1-2 favourites, which is difficult to argue against, and obviously they're still on for the domestic treble.
Yep, they certainly are. Golden Goals. Each week we'll be placing a prediction on some of the upcoming games on Golden Goals. If we correctly guess the exact scoreline, then BetMGM will donate £500 to our chosen charity, Prostate Cancer UK. Where are we at, Dan?
We're at 3,500. So this is the free-to-play game on the app. Predicts 6 correct scores and customers going up to 250,000. But as you said, we give you a chance to win 500 quid for your chosen charities. Now, a lot's been made about its Crook. So he is now 0 out of 38.
Wow.
Which is...
a whole Premier League season.
Yeah, but what about these two? How many have they got between them?
Well, hold on. I'm going to stick up for you slightly here, Crookie, because the last one that Gabby got right was in January. And Sam, you haven't got one right since the end of Feb. So if we're looking at this as a team
so like a month and a half.
Yep.
Yeah, we're not firing on all cylinders.
More
So I
wins
think
than Spurs.
As a team, we need to start picking up some more money going into the final fixtures of the season. So, Sam, we're going to start with you with West Ham Everton.
Yes, Everton have won more Premier League games against West Ham United overall and away from home than they have against any other opponent. But I think West Ham's predicament means they get a point here, 1-1.
Yeah, same score as a reverse fixture, and there's been the exact same scoreline in the 2 of the last 3 meetings. So, not the worst prediction in the world. That's a 24-5 shout. Gabby, going to come to you for Arsenal Newcastle.
Yes, Newcastle lost 15 games this season. Nothing to play for, really, apart from pride, and obviously their fans will want a performance. But Arsenal, they have to score goals. This title could be decided on goal difference, goal scored. I'm going to go for an Arsenal 3-1 win because I always like to keep a goal just in case.
You do indeed. Arsenal haven't lost to the Magpies in 13 games, and they've won 12 of them. And as we know, Newcastle have been the last. Their form most recently hasn't been the greatest. So have they got anything to play for? We'll see tomorrow. That is a 17-2 shout. And then Crookie coming to you for Wolves versus Spurs.
Yeah, I think this is the biggest Premier League game this weekend in many ways.
Agreed.
Wolves seem to have checked out now. They had a little purple patch, didn't they, at home in particular. Tottenham have got a win. I think they will win, but only just. I've gone 2-1 to Spurs.
Head-to-head's interesting, though.
Sorry?
The head-to-head stats are interesting, though, aren't they?
Do you want to give them some?
They've got a poor record, haven't they, Molyneux?
They've lost the last 3 away games at Wolves,
have.
and they're unbeaten in their last 6 Premier League games, Wolves, against Tottenham.
Why didn't you tell him that before you give his
Oh, I knew
prediction?
that. I knew that.
Wolves beat Liverpool and Villa in the last 2 home games. So it's another tricky fixture. I was at Spurs Brighton last week, and I thought that the crowd were massively up for it compared to previous games I've been at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this year. And they played well. There was a little bit of a different Spurs side, obviously, under De Zerbi, but I still think Wolves are going to be a tough place to go, not just based on the stats, but I think Wolves, obviously relegated, will want to come out with fighting. So a 2-1 Spurs win is 6-1. So the treble comes in at 375-1. But like we always say, let's try and get some money in the pot for prostate cancer.
You've been to Spurs a lot this season. How many games do you think you've done this season at Tottenham?
6.
How many half and half scarves have you picked up?
Will you be there next season when they're playing Lincoln on a Tuesday night?
I don't do half and half scarves, Sam.
Do you do Lincoln?
He does Newcastle scarves, I forgot, yeah.
I'll do wherever I'm invited to, Crookie, just like you.
How many times have you been to Newcastle this season?
4.
How many times have you been to Wolves?
I haven't been to Wolves this season.
Oh,
Wow.
right, okay. Just wondering, because, all of them are sort of struggling a little bit. I wonder if the
Company
results
man.
coincided with Dan's visits. Right, okay. Dan, thank you very much. Lovely to
Thanks,
see you. As always, that's Dan Towers from BetMGM. And that was all thanks to BetMGM. Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app 18+, begambleaware.org.
It's showtime on TalkSport with BetMGM. Keep things golden with responsible play at betmgm.co.uk. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Gabby, you were stood around while 100 Forest bikes were available. I cycled in like a knight in shining armour and offered you my bike. It was working absolutely fine for me from London Bridge. You must have broke it.
Drained the
says
battery.
Alistair
I
Seed.
remember the guy got off it and said, "This is free." But I haven't got the Forest app, whatever it is. I've got the Line Bike app.
Well, you need to get
He
the Forest
rinsed
app
the
as well.
battery, mate.
You can't just have one option when you're cycling around London.
Give me a flat bike.
The Santander one.
What's his
You've got to
name,
have
mate?
the
Send me his number. You give me a flat bike.
Gave you a
know what
flat
it was-
You're blaming him for your
I am,
quad
mate.
pull.
I am. My quad lower back's in pain, Crookie.
You're gonna have to go for a massage later.
Yeah, but Crookie's getting the coffees in, so he's going to get me some breakfast as well. I'm hungry after that session. Thank you, Alex.
Do you know what? That was one of the weirdest moments, right, for a long time. It was, I said, who's going to do the coffee run today? And Crook went, oh, good, I'll do it. And Gabby, almost like a meek little child, turned around to him and went, is it all right if I get some food? Because I'm really
Alex.
hungry.
No! Bring your own food from home.
I've got some boiled eggs in there for you.
Oh, dear. This is Talk Sport, the Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deal at selcobw.com.
Arsenal have been reeled back in.
They are the title in the hands for months and months, and 3 weeks ago they had 10 points. It's not losing against City, as we said. You know, it's not losing against City that annoy me the most because there is no shame of losing against City. But it's the game before that, Bournemouth. You know, when you lose the 3 points at home, the way they played, I watched the game. I was so. I'm not going to say the word on the radio because, but you understand what I mean.
It was flat, wasn't it? It was flat.
Yes. No desire. I think they had no idea what's going on the pitch, and I think they didn't understand exactly what it takes, you know, to win the Premier League, especially when you have to fight against City. This team is amazing. You know, they're acting like as a champion every single season. So
did you say that you don't think some of these players know what it takes to win the Premier League? What's involved in winning it? How you win it?
Have you seen the game against Bournemouth?
Yeah,
I watched it. Yeah.
Honestly,
there was no urgency. It was strange. I mean,
no.
Sam Ryder! Please welcome back Will! Traeger Show! You have 4 billion more listens than there are people on the planet.
On the planet.
Snap is coming on the show.
It's your WhatsApp. It's your WhatsApp. It's your WhatsApp. It's your.
lost Gabby Agbonlahor again. Is he all right?
It's all right. I've got his notes, so I'll do the Gabby role. Garnacho, 1 goal, 23 Premier League appearances. Neto, 5 goals, 4 assists, 32 appearances.
Why did it take you
1
at least
goal,
halfway through that sentence before you became Gabby?
Is he mocking my prep?
He is. He's mocking your prep. But also, what are you doing not being in the studio?
Oh, sorry, I was arranging another job with one of the managers.
Oh, right. Okay, great.
Yeah, let's do the co-coms for the next Portsmouth game.
It would be really good. It'd be really good if you could get another job so you could earn a little bit more money and buy these coffees, because when Crook gets them, they're
honestly,
little tiny
Cookie,
baby cookie.
What did you get them? Can I have 6 coffees for kids? Like, look how small it is.
It's like everyone's just got an espresso. That's it.
I don't want you to overdo it.
You are tight.
I don't want you to overdo it.
So tight.
Honestly, imagine Christmas Day, Sam. Cookie's house.
Do you know what? You wouldn't be a good leader. I'm a bit worried about you. You wouldn't be a very good leader.
Oh.
Because
Wow.
you keep.
Wow.
Well,
Do you remember I used to run our 5-a-side football team? We were quite successful.
Didn't.
I did.
Okay.
We were
You
quite
wouldn't be a
successful.
good leader. That's a harsh comment, Cookie.
He wouldn't be a good leader. He wouldn't be a good leader.
Used to run a company?
Yeah, no. What's happened to that now?
He's old.
No.
They got bust, Cookie.
Talking of good leaders, Virgil van Dijk has been talking about the new era of leaders to step up for Liverpool. With the loss of Trent Alexander-Arnold, Mo Salah and Robertson in recent years, is the leadership vacuum at Liverpool one all of their own making? And how easy is it to step up and become a leader in the dressing room?
Some players are born to lead. Some players, it's not really their style. You know, I don't look at the likes of Wirtz as a leader, but I look at the likes of McAllister, World Cup winner, Gravenberch, top player. I look at Alisson, obviously Van Dijk. Can Isak next season be a leader? He's going to be the vocal point of that attack. Noah Katike for a long time next season. Isak has to, but show leadership in different ways. Some players show leadership by shouting, screaming. Some players do your job.
Yeah. See, leadership comes in different shapes and sizes. Can experience be
by example?
Can experience be bought in, though? I mean, because obviously they're going to be in the market for a lot of players in the summer. They have to be because of the squad. It's been decimated again. Virgil van Dijk actually said players have to step up. You grow into that leadership role, or you already have it in you. That is something that players have to show even more next season. The leadership boys are falling apart in terms of leaving, so players have to step up and see what the guys making the decisions are going to do. But I'm pretty sure everyone has the right intentions to make us a club competitive and hopefully not have a season like we're having this season. Is that a veiled attempt at putting pressure on the board?
Yeah, probably. I don't think Virgil van Dijk ever says anything by accident. It's always by design. I think it is going to be a huge summer for Liverpool with the departing players that you've mentioned. We don't know what's happening with Konate yet. Mixed messaging there, because if you speak to people close to Konate, they say that he's close to signing a new deal and extending his stay. Sources at Liverpool suggesting it's a bit more 50-50, a bit more in the balance than that. I think they probably have to keep him, bearing in mind the players.
Is it
that are going
cheaper
out.
to keep him than to try and replace him?
Potentially, because obviously they've got the 2 young centre-backs who they're going to have to break in, but both are coming off the back of long-term injuries now.
That's Jacquet, who they bought in from French football, and Leone.
Yeah, but obviously Leone was injured quite early in his Liverpool career, and Jacquet, I think, has missed a lot of the second half of the season over in France, so they're going to take a while to adapt to the Premier League. I think Adam Wharton is certainly one to keep a close eye on when it comes to Liverpool. They're one of the clubs in for him.
Can I ask you about Curtis Jones? Because
I think he might go.
He's 25 years of age now. Only 13 Premier League starts this season. He's a player that I would have thought would become a leader at Liverpool. But in Liverpool's poor season, he hasn't played enough. Do you see him leaving in the summer?
And this is a problem, I think. I think this is a big problem, not just for Liverpool. I think this is, again, we've talked about this on our podcast, Premier League All Access, which is available now.
Last plug.
On the TalkSport app and via Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts.
Who's in that?
Me, Crookie, Minto this week as well.
Scott Minto.
Premier League All Access. But we've talked a lot about the connection between clubs and their supporters and their local communities, right? And how Chelsea's a prime example of this. They've sold all of the players that have come through the academy. Okay, Reece James is still there, Chalobah's still there, but they tried to sell Chalobah. And they've sold everybody else that they've bought through. And good quality players that are now playing in the Premier League. Best centre-back in the league. One of them, Mark Gay, is playing for somebody else. Ridiculous. That should never be allowed to happen, right? Curtis Jones, he may not be the best midfielder in the league, but he's a very good midfield player who's played for England, a top-level Premier League player.
Agreed.
Now, if you allow him to leave, that's another member of the sort of Scouse fraternity that is allowed to leave Liverpool. And at a time when you are putting up prices and trying to tell your supporters that they've got to dip their hands in their pocket, again, dissolving that connection between the local community and the club, I think is a dangerous
What if he
thing.
wants to leave, though?
Well, that was
different.
That was the point I was going to make, because I think when Inter Milan showed passing interest in January, I think he was quite tempted by that, but Liverpool weren't
He's not
prepared
playing.
to sanction a departure at that stage. Aston Villa have been mentioned to me as a possible suitor.
Big club.
In the summer. Tottenham, if they stay up. And I think he's going to want to go out and play week in, week out. He's probably not going to be in the World Cup squad, is he? Because he hasn't played enough minutes for Liverpool. He's only got a year left on his contract. And if you look at last summer, I think actually they would have quite liked to have kept Luis Diaz, but they couldn't offer him what he wanted, so they decided the best thing to do was to cash in. The same to a lesser extent with Darwin Núñez. They knew that he wasn't going to play if Isak and Ekitike were fit, so they allowed him to get his departure. They're not a club who necessarily
There's nothing worse
stand
as a
in the
player,
way of players if they want to go.
Yeah, there's nothing worse as a player, though, not playing week in, week out. You know what I mean? You
Unless
wanna be
it's
the one-
August or 4 games before the end of the season.
Exactly. Then no problem. Yeah, on the beach. No, jokes aside, you want to be playing week in, week out. You want to be like one of the manager's favourite players. Look at Curtis Jones this season. He's in, he's out. 13 Premier League starts. At 25 now, he should be kicking on, going somewhere where he's going to be the main player in that midfield. It was number 8, or he's off one of the wings, or he's as number 10. He's a talented footballer. He'll set his sights at, I want to play more for my country as well.
But also, brutal question, if you get, because he's in the last year of his contract, so say you get 20 million for Curtis Jones, and then you use that money to help bring in Adam Wharton, that's an upgrade, isn't it?
100%.
And also there's a position that they need to fill, because we've talked about this as well, how they forced Gravenberch into that 6th position last year and it really worked for them. This season it hasn't worked for them. So they need to get that position filled, because otherwise they're going to have another season like this. They need someone who knits it together.
They need a
Wharton
left back.
Certainly.
They need a right back.
Yeah, they do.
They need so many positions, not a striker, not a right winger.
Which also, and I've been saying this all season, they don't want to get rid of Arne Slot. Other media outlets are now reporting that he's going to stay come what may, particularly as they look like they're going to get
Which is what you've been saying
all along, Crookie.
Yeah, but what I was going to say, when you've got this much upheaval, do you really want to add a change of manager into the mix as well? Particularly when you've got a manager who did win the Premier League last year.
Well,
he's not useless, is he, Arne Slot?
I think he deserves another go at it. But when he comes out and says we need to sell players, I don't think that's right, is it?
That's always been the Liverpool way. These are not owners who...
FSG don't spend loads of money. They don't just lavish loads of cash.
Who in that squad, though, is going to bring in a lot of money? Who's going to bring in a lot of money in that
Jones
squad
will
of
bring you
players?
20 million quid.
Okay, who else?
Alexis McAllister, potentially. Not had a great season. Bit of interest from Real Madrid, I'm hearing.
Alisson, did they cash in on Alisson?
Well, he spoke about him today, actually, and he said that he doesn't respond to rumours.
I think he'll stay.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well,
Mamardashvili's not proved himself to be ready yet.
No, not quite yet. Let's just say that. 03717223344. By the way, Arne Slot staying. He had said it.
He said all along.
4 months.
Yep.
Well done. See, that's proper.
On the podcast. What's the podcast?
Premier League All Access. If you just have a look towards your left-hand side, if you're watching on YouTube and Facebook.
Oh, look at that for a plug.
You can see the QR code. Just give it a little scan and you'll be able to listen to that when we finish here today.
Is that the first plug we've ever had for our own podcast?
That's on there every week.
Is it?
Every
I
week.
don't look at myself on the camera. I look at you guys. I'm engaging. Yeah.
You don't. You look at your phone or your laptop most of the time. That's your,
You know your stuff, Crookie.
You
Love
do.
it, mate.
Yeah, okay. You look at top journalist.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Liverpool are playing. Well, they're in a situation this weekend, aren't they? Where they're. What game? I can't remember what game they've got this weekend.
Palace at home.
Palace this weekend.
Good team to play.
Well, yeah, but Crystal Palace have got a good record against them. That's what I was about to say, actually. You know, they're winless in the last 3 Premier League home games against Crystal Palace. And I know that Palace have got a big game on Thursday night, but can you see Glasner resting players? I'm not necessarily sure he's going to rest players.
I think he might.
Do you?
Yeah. What have they got to play for in terms of the league, Palace? It's all about this semi-final, isn't it?
But you said earlier, managers like consistency.
No, I said some do. I mean, I was surprised by Daniel Farke's team selection, but I just got a hunch that Palace will rest a couple.
Of course, it's all going to come with the backdrop of that supporters' protest that the Liverpool supporters have planned. They're continuing to pile pressure on the board after the introduction of ticket price rises for next season. We don't believe you are listening to the Liverpool supporters right now regarding your decision to make the club the first to commit to a policy of locking in 3 years of general admission price rises. That is deeply concerning for the future direction of the club and English football in general. That is the words of the Liverpool supporters group, who are aiming their ire at the Fenway Sports Group, who took over more than 15 years ago. Now, they say that inflation means that they've got to push the prices up eventually. However, similar tactics in 2016, with walkout stage in opposition against a £70 match ticket, resulting in the owners performing a bit of a U-turn. In the build-up to the game, Arne Slot has had his say about what's going to happen this weekend.
Yeah, I think as long as I'm in football, there are disagreements, and almost all the time these disagreements are between people that have the best interest in the club. So could be me with a player, could be someone else, but we always have the best interest for the club. So the only thing I can say about that is that I think 2 weeks ago against Fulham there was also a protest, but we felt the complete support throughout the whole game of our fans, and that's what I mean with having the best interest in the club. When they have a protest like this, they are still there to support the team, and that's also what's needed tomorrow, especially. The first one I'm thinking about is Freddie Woodman. If he has to start, if Ali is not ready to start, then I think a player like him, but all of them, definitely need a lot of support from our fans tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Freddie Woodman does start. The Liverpool players obviously very happy when he came on last week. He obviously very popular in the dressing room. Just on the price rises, the club say that matchday operating costs have risen by 85% since 2016-17, insisting adult season tickets would increase by no more than $3.50 a game across 3 years, with general admission tickets increasing between £3 and £4.50 over the same time period. If you want to react to that, 81089 on the text, 03717 22 33 This is TalkSport.
You found the mask?
Yeah, I found the mask.
It's just who we are, mate.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I hope you lost it.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Mate, do you know, it's half hot in here. And I can't... So you don't realise what it's like. I've had Arteta on. I'm going to have to take this off, mate. Well, I can't.
No? You what?
Wow, it's hot. I've got to take my top off, mate. I can't keep doing this, mate. I can't keep doing this.
What is going on?
What?
What?
What do you mean?
What is this?
What's what?
Is this TalkSport merch?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh my God, he's got a shirt. You've now got a shirt on. You're kidding me. What is this shirt? What is this?
I don't know what you're on about, mate. I just knocked this whole thing up.
So for people who are not watching on YouTube right now, Cundy has got a T-shirt with the Ange mask. I've seen signs encouraging signs. Is this TalkSport merch? Where are you getting this stuff from? Who is making this stuff for you? It's bang out of order. I'm going to HR. This is not on. Honestly, they're gonna go off the shelves. Then, by the way,
And Spurs.
They are going to go off the shelves. Who made that?
I did.
You're out of order.
Well, I had 10 minutes spare. I thought, what can I do?
TalkSport Sports Update powered by the Nissan Van Range. Commercial vehicles built around your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
A very good afternoon. It's coming up to 2 minutes past 12 here with your sports headlines. I'm Amelia Beltrao. Former Burnley striker Charlie Austin's told us it is time for the club to part ways with Scott Parker. He says sometimes a manager can overstay their welcome.
Can turn a bit stale. This never really happened with Sean Dyche, and it was a different type of manager. I know he was there for a long, long time, but he was up and down, but he made the football club his own. I'm not sure Scott Parker has that same connection with the Burnley fans.
Relegated following their defeat to Man City this week. Former Arsenal midfielder Ray Parlour says even if the Gunners win nothing this season, Arteta should stay on. Ray's concerned by what he sees at other clubs.
Like Manchester United and, Chelsea. Look at Chelsea now. And they're Tottenham even. Managers come and go. And I think Arteta, don't get me wrong, it'd be a disastrous season, but I think they're giving him more opportunity.
Arsenal can go back top of the league with the win over Newcastle tomorrow. Now, Arsenal has every faith in his third-choice keeper, Freddie Woodman. With Alisson Mamardashvili out injured, Woodman steps up again for Liverpool against Crystal Palace tomorrow. Eddie Hearn says negotiations over AJ's fight with Tyson Fury are in their final stages. The promoters told IFTV Joshua's planning a tune-up fight for July before a blockbuster all-British showdown with Fury. And Warrington-born Luke Littler says the boos in Liverpool were nothing compared to Rotterdam, and it felt good to beat Premier League leader Johnny Clayton 6-1 to all but assure his playoff spot. And Formula One is returning to Turkey's Istanbul circuit for at least 5 years from 2027. There's more at talksport.com.
TalkSport News.
Downing Street has hit back at the US government, saying the Falkland Islands' sovereignty rests with the UK, and are self-service checkouts tempting good, honest people to steal from supermarkets. Emma has more in half an hour.
TalkSport weather with QuickFit, where we've got a wider range of premium tyres than Britain has rainy days. Visit your local centre or book at quickfit.com today.
Another bright sunny day, slightly warmer than yesterday and less windy, staying warm and settled into the weekend.
It is TalkSport with Sam Matterface, Alex Crook, and I'm so pleased he's so speedy. He just showed a couple of turns of pace today.
I've recovered, haven't I? On the bike.
Just at the right time.
Double session, Sam. Double session, mate.
He thought he was going to get. He thought he was going to get a rollicking there for being late from yet another break in play. Did you ever come off? Did you ever start a second half where you weren't on the pitch and the play kicked off?
No, but I used to have to sometimes run out.
Did you?
Yeah, because I always like to go to the toilet right before the start of the second half. And
Why?
Sprint out. Weak bladder. That's why. always had a weak bladder. So yes, but never always made it. Don't worry. We didn't start with 10.
Oh, that's a relief.
I would love to know if Crookie's ever hammered me back in the days or my playing days. I'd love to hear some commentary from my playing career.
I'm not that old.
Surely you are.
I was at school when you were playing, I think.
I'll behave. You was 25, weren't you?
Well, listen, when we were all at school, when we were all young whippersnappers, we used to watch on a Saturday lunchtime as Football Focus used to dominate the TV landscape. Landscape changed over the course of years. Viewing habits have changed. People engage in different ways, and we all do it. We all have small smartphones now, and football's changed as well. There's a live game in that slot now. But it has been announced in the last day that the BBC's longest-running football programme and longest-running sports programme, actually, Football Focus, is going to come to an end at the end of the season after 52 years. One of the presenters back in the day was Manish Bhasin, who joins us now. Hi, Manish.
Hello, Sam. How are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you, mate. The show has been... it says axed here, but I think it's just sort of retired because changing audience behaviours means that fans are increasingly consuming football in a different way. And I think that's true, isn't it? I mean, the truth is that the football has changed. It's actually a remarkable innings, isn't it? 52 years for a football programme like that.
Yeah, and I think, you know what? it's probably the better way to look at it. It's done so well to last 52 years. In this changing landscape, we know kickoff times have changed because of TV requirements. The 12:30, it cuts right across the show. You know, when I did it, we didn't have 12:30 games. We just had the 3 o'clocks. So we'd have managers come to post pre-match to do all the build-up. And no magazine show gets that kind of access. But that was the pull of the show. And I think it was such a privilege and an honor to have at least, you know, led the ship for 5 years. Great team behind the camera, in front of the camera. But everything has its time. And, you know, people were saying the same thing about Lineker and Match of the Day. Things move on and they don't last forever. And as you said quite rightly, look, Talk Sport, you're on top of the game digitally. You know that the audience there is to be served in ways that never used to be done before. Everything gets clipped up, everything gets accessed straight away. Even the VTs that focus, and you, Alex, Gabby will remember, when you were all watching Football Focus, it was those stylized VTs with interviews of players and managers that just made them so enticing, so good to watch. They were pieces of art. But you can almost do something like that on your mobile phone now. Yeah. And you're seeing them on, you know, on all the social media platforms. So technology's moving on, requirements are moving on. It's a real shame because, yes, it was a staple of all of ours, you know, in our late 40s, early 50s. And maybe Gabby's not quite that old yet. But
not far off, mate.
No, I don't think so. But, you know, it's just the way the world is going, and you've got to move with it. And look, you've got to add to the mix as well. Let's not forget the BBC have announced, not that I'm affiliated with the BB in any shape or form anymore and haven't been for a while, but they've announced that they've got to cut the budget. They're releasing jobs. You know, they've got renewal, the charter renewal always on their next major challenge. And they've got to try and make their budget stick to that. So otherwise, you know, they're no longer in business, essentially.
I get what you're saying, but shouldn't the BBC be run slightly differently to other broadcast organisations because of the way that it's funded, because we effectively pay for that funding? And when I think of the BBC, I think of institutions like Wimbledon, which obviously they still do very well. I think of Match of the Day, which is still a staple diet for a lot of people on a Saturday night. And I do think of Football Focus as well. So you say nothing lasts forever. When it comes to the BBC, should some things not last forever?
Yeah, but Alex, like I said, look at the football output of the BBC right now. So they've got highlights of the Champions League, which is a kind of a fairly new addition. They've got Match of the Day 2, Final Score. How much more can you cram in over the weekend? I think if you had to choose and I had to prioritise and you've got to streamline your output, which one is the most, you know, vulnerable? And maybe a preview show to the games rather than covering the games, which is where the action's at, where the talking points are. You can see why they've made that decision when push comes to shove. I see what you're saying. Yeah, they're a public broadcaster. That doesn't give them, you know, the right to serve the footballing public with everything going. But with those shows at the weekend, you'd think the football needs have been served, really.
You are also the other thing is that there's other people that can serve those needs. Like I was gonna, you know, you've already mentioned it. Talk Sport wasn't around when Football Focus first started. No. Sky Sports showing every game live, and TNT Sports showing all the Champions League and Premier League games and FA Cup. That wasn't the case back 52 years ago. The landscape is completely different, and even in the last 10 years, the amount of output that has caught on, and you know, with social media and YouTube and whatever. Viewing habits are completely different. I was looking at the audience figures. Someone said to me, oh, yeah, but the audience has gone down from 950,000 to 700,000 in the last 5 years. Well, yeah, every audience has gone down on television by that amount. 12% massive drops all over. The Coronation Street's gone down that far because that's the way we watch television now.
And look, let's not fool ourselves here, because look, I think Alex has taken a lot of unfair stick by people using the viewing figures on Football Focus, saying, look, they're losing figures, blah, blah, blah. It's because of the change in presenter. Come on. As you said, it's happened across the board. And people with their own tinted spectacles will use it to, you know, to justify their own reasoning. Mm-hmm. Listen, when I did my piece, I was on Sky News yesterday talking about Football Focus. You know, I never get any jip on social media, and it really does not bother me. But two people came on and said, you were a DEI appointment. I've been in the business for 25 years. I'm not a Johnny come lately, flash by night. I'm not a box ticker, or people keep saying it was a woke appointment. It's nonsense. People have got to get over their prejudices and see people for their talents that they've got. And yes, they are on a spectrum of, they're not everybody's going to be fantastic, but you've got to give people credit. And when it pricked me a little bit yesterday when I just read that, and I just thought, look, the viewing figures, I mean, I'm going slightly off track here, but the viewing figures is down across the board, as you said quite rightly, because the landscape inevitably makes that happen. You'll do well to keep hold of your viewing figures or your listening figures in this day and age. That's seen as a minor victory. If they go up, that's a bigger bonus.
Well, Manish, I remember being a kid and Football Focus, it was like guaranteed. Me and my two brothers in front of the TV, you had probably channel 1 to 5, you're going to watch it. Now you can just look on your phone and be like, okay, I'm going to go and play this. I'm going to go and do a bit of paddle, going to go and do a bit of shopping or whatever. I can see an interview on my phone. So it's obviously going to change over time, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. We can all access interviews whenever we want these days. And it just clearly, as you said, back in the day, Football Focus, you had Soccer AM on the other side, didn't you? So they had the slightly humorous side. We were the more kind of journalistic, getting into the hub of stuff, getting managers to post. I mean, think about it now. To even talk about getting managers on a magazine show almost sounds quite archaic, but that was all you had. And look, just like you remember, right? There'll be certain shows that the Beeb had, whether it was on the radio or on TV, they had this pull that others couldn't get, and they made hay while the sun was shining. But things change over time.
They do. One of the things, I was looking back at some of the archives yesterday. Tony Blair, you had him on the show, didn't you, when he was the Prime Minister? And you absolutely gave him a grilling about whether he was a real football fan or not.
Sam, do you know what? Honestly, this is something that will live with me forever. I mean, first of all, it was a surreal morning going into the studio and seeing these dogs leave the studio. And I'm just like, what the hell have we got dogs here for? And I realised, obviously, sniffer dog security, everything's going to be heightened for the visit of the Prime Minister. And the build-up was massive. All the papers were talking about it. What's he going to be asked? And, it was quite a big moment. No Prime Minister comes out on a football show to want to prove his football credentials. But he spoke about back in the day, he was quoted as saying, I was sat at the Gallagate end at Newcastle United, St James's Park, as a kid, watching Sir Jackie Milburn or whoever it was back then. And the press got hold of that and they said, sat? There were no seats at Newcastle back then. Now, that's what he was quoted saying. But so when we got him on, and we obviously gave him a few kind of like softness to open up with, and Laura was with me and John Motson. And then I said, by the way, Prime Minister, or Tony, as I called him, because that was a funny little incident in itself, had what to call him during a afternoon Saturday show. I said, Tony, your credentials as a football fan were kind of put to question or doubted. You've been called a plastic fan because you said you were sat when there were no seats at St James's. We've got the initial quote, and this is what you said. Anyway, so we dimmed the lights, spotlight on him, the look on his face, which was then used as a kind of, they took a screenshot of that and put it on the front page of one of the tabloids the next day, the moment the PM froze on live TV, because he forgot what he said. And he was fearing that, oh no, you're putting me out to dry here. And we played the audio. And as soon as he said, I was stood at the Gallagate end, the relief on his face was unbelievable.
He'd been misquoted.
He'd been misquoted. Who would have thought that? You know what I mean? So it was obviously lost in translation. Over time, we managed to get hold of the original audio, and boy, was he a relief, man.
Manish, thank you very much. We'll all have great memories of you and others presenting Football Focus. So thank you very much.
Cheers, boys.
For
Take care, all of you.
With us. That's Manish Bhasin, who was a long time a presenter for the BBC. BBC should focus on non-commercially viable sports to give them a platform, says one texter. It is them who should be screening National League, EFL, rugby, hockey. Mr. Peter says, Peter in Crewe here, I was 9 or 12 years old, earlier in the 70s. Saturday lunchtimes meant Dad bringing chips home for lunch while watching Sam Leach's football preview on Grandstad, which was the predecessor to Football Focus. Happy memories.
They were better times, weren't they?
They were better times. Honestly, if Crook could be reincarnated and live in the 70s and 80s, he would definitely
90s.
The good old days, Crookie.
90s.
The good old days.
The 90s was too advanced for you. You need it. You need to go back to the 80s. Cortina.
What was that programme? Life on Mars?
Yeah, that's you.
That is me.
It is
basically.
you all over. You need it. Everyone down the snooker club after work.
Absolutely.
A few pints.
That's what I'm doing tonight.
Yeah, there's a shot.
A few frames of Paul.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely jubbly.
Say the missus that now and then.
If you were...
Was
3717 22 33 44 is the number to call. You can text us, you can WhatsApp us as well. We'd love to hear from you on TalkSport this lunchtime. Still much more to come, including we'll be talking a little bit about Michael Carrick as well. Is he going to get the job as the Manchester United big boss?
Vincent Kompany's side have won their 35th Bundesliga title at the weekend, have made adding another winger this summer a top priority. Gordon's thought to be open to a move to the Bundesliga, even though a starting spot, the Allianz, is not guaranteed. Sources reveal the England international has already spoken to Harry Kane about life in Munich. Newcastle United reported to be willing to sell, providing their valuation of at least £75 million is met. Do you think that there's a possibility that Bayern might balk that valuation, Coisty? 75 million? It's a lot of money. I mean, he's a, good player. Fully fledged England international.
Oh, 100%, mate. 75 million. Far too much. Far too much. Good player. I like him. Hasn't shown any level of consistency in the league. I would say best form's been in the Champions League or certainly Europe. Would he be interested in going? You better believe he would. I mean, if you're Anthony Gordon, crikey, a move to Bayern Munich, why would you not?
But because you might not play every week.
I know, I get that, and I was just about to say, you look at it. I've got Musiala, Diaz, Guerrero. I mean, Elise, Harry Kane, Gnabry. He won't start. I mean, if Bayern Munich were playing PSG today and he was in that squad, he wouldn't start, right? He would not.
The one and only Sam Ryder! Please welcome back Will Traeger. You have 4 billion more listens than there are people on the planet.
On the planet.
Adam is coming on the show.
It's your WhatsApp. It's your WhatsApp. It's your WhatsApp. It's your.
What a job Pep Guardiola has done as the manager of Manchester City. He takes them to Wembley tomorrow for an FA Cup semi-final. It's the 8th consecutive season that they've reached the FA Cup semi-finals, which is a competition record, and they're looking to become the first side ever to reach 4 FA Cup finals. But if Pep Guardiola was to get to that FA Cup final, would it be his last? TalkSport's Alex Crook has got some information about Enzo Moresca.
Yeah, I think the vibe coming out of the Northwest for some time now has been that Pep Guardiola is more likely to depart than to stay at the end of the season. Whether winning the Premier League title will influence that decision one way or another remains to be seen, but it does seem like the direction of travel is this is going to be the last few weeks of Pep Guardiola's tenure, despite the fact he's got another year left on his contract. There was always a suspicion, I think, from Chelsea that when Enzo Moresca left the club on New Year's Day, his next port of call would be Manchester City. TalkSport understands Moresca very much the front runner. Should, as expected, Pep Guardiola step down at the end of his trophy-laden tenure at the end of the season. There has been some suggestions that maybe there's still some contractual issues with Chelsea. We're being told by sources close to Moresca that he is free to take another job as soon as this summer. And I've been told by more than one source that high-level talks between Manchester City, their sporting director Hugo Viana, and Moresca have been taking place. Now, that's not to say City want Guardiola to leave now, but of course they have to prepare for that eventuality. So Guardiola likely, we think, to depart at the end of the season, and Enzo Moresca very much the heir apparent.
And if that is to happen, what has been the impact on on the Premier League by Pep Guardiola?
I think Sir Alex Ferguson's got to be number one, hasn't he? But you would say Premier League era, Pep Guardiola number two. But that's the playing style.
I was going to say, his effect on English football has been total, hasn't it?
Because everyone's doing it now. Before Pep, were many teams playing out for the back like they are now? I remember saying a story on here about Paul Lambert, who went to watch Bayern Munich play under Pep Guardiola, come back. We were trying to play that Pep Guardiola way. It didn't work. We had to change it. But he had an influence on so many managers that style of football, the fullback coming into midfield, which we see so many teams do now across Europe. Legendary manager, and the Premier League won't be the same without him.
Is it time for him to move on now?
I don't think it is, no. I look at this season and what he's done with Manchester City, spent obviously a lot of money, rebuilt this squad of players, big names coming in January, Semenyo and Gahey. And if he goes and wins the treble, what a way to leave. But the part of him say, I've rebuilt this squad, why don't I carry on? It's difficult, isn't it?
It's a great way to go out, isn't it?
I know, but if you're a Man City fan, you're like, I want more. Look what you've done. You caught Arsenal again.
It must be really tiring. It must be draining for him. And listen, I spend a bit of time in his company post-match, sometimes pre-match, whatever. We've done a couple of dinners where he has attended, and he's always on. He's never off. He's always at the height of every sort of emotion. He's very digital in the way he moves. He's a very intense guy. That must take a lot out of you. And every time I speak to him before an international break, the first thing he says is, I'm going on holiday. I need a rest. I need a break. I need a rest.
He said the same after the League Cup final.
Yeah, well, that was before an international break, yeah. So he often...
It has been non-stop, hasn't it?
Yeah.
He didn't have much breaks between Barcelona...
Yeah, he had a massive
Bayern
break
Munich.
between Barcelona and Bayern Munich. He had a year.
Oh, a year, yeah. That's a lot.
He went to live in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to live in New York.
A year,
he did a whole complete sabbatical, and he took a year out, but he hasn't taken a year out.
Between Bayern Munich and Manchester City, it didn't take long. Straight through. Yeah.
And it's interesting if Pep does go, and as we say, nothing formally decided, but it seems to be that could well be the outcome at the end of the season.
Makes
sense. A lot of Man City fans, I think, will want Vincent Kompany, particularly the job he's done at Bayern Munich. But is this Kompany being quite cute, realising that actually being the successor to the successor might be a better way to go about it if he does end up at City?
Maybe. And what impact do you think it has on the title race itself? The possibility that it could be Pep's last few weeks in charge?
I think they will try and keep it as quiet as possible, don't they? Because...
Well, they're obviously trying to do that.
No, I know.
I'm not sure they know yet. I'm not sure he has gone to them and said, look, I'm leaving at the end of the season. Yeah. But I think they are
covering themselves.
They all have vibe, though, right?
Yeah. You'd have thought so. I mean, you spent a lot of time in the Northwest. I know you've been getting similar vibes for...
Well, it makes sense, doesn't it? Because it's such a hard job to go into after Pep Guardiola. It makes sense giving it to a manager that's been there under Pep, will know the club inside out. Some of the players that are still there will know him. It's just a no-brainer. Done a decent job at Chelsea, didn't he? obviously, I like the way he left as well. Of like, I don't like how it's being run here. I'm out of here. How can a physio tell me that a player can play 60? Imagine that happening in Man City. I don't think so.
Interesting, isn't it, that he decided to leave in January?
And managers don't normally walk away from lucrative contracts.
Any compensation.
Yeah.
What are you saying? Maybe there might be a little pre-contract agreement.
Not at all. I'm just raising.
Well, I think Chelsea sources told us at the time that the talks had taken place between Moresca and not just Manchester City, but Juventus as well, because under the terms of his contract, he had to let them know that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me as well, though. Pep Guardiola hasn't 100% made his mind up.
Well, he changed his mind last time because he was going to leave a couple of years ago, wasn't he? And he changed his mind at the last minute.
It could be the scenario where if they don't win the Premier League, he's that angry. He wants, I need to win this. I need to leave winning the Premier League.
Fergie did that, didn't he? I think if it had not been for that Aguero goal, I think Sir Alex would have stepped down then. But he stayed for another year, paid big money for Van Persie, broke the recruitment policy at the time, really, to go for a veteran striker. Won the league and then called it a day.
It's a massive story. If it eventually does happen the way we've sort of suggested it might, it's a massive story. It's a massive watershed moment in the Premier League as well. He's been an absolute asset to the Premier League ever since he walked through the door. A great ambassador for Premier League football. He's raised the status of it in some ways. He's obviously a different type of manager to what we've got in a lot of clubs now. Head coaches are very much in vogue. Sporting directors are very much in vogue. But actually, when you look at the top of the table, the top three clubs in the country right now, Aston Villa, Manchester City and Arsenal, all are led by managers.
Sorry, top
managers.
Top three clubs at the top of the table.
Joint third. Joint third.
Fourth. If the season finished today, you're fourth.
Joint third, mate. But also, do you think Pep Guardiola, like he says, he's probably tired, will look at managing a country?
One day. Yeah.
One day, I think he will.
Yeah. I think he'll do something different this time.
Something like a Brazil manager one day.
Well, Carlo's only just got his feet under the table there, so it might be a little while before he does that. I can't see him managing Spain for because obviously he's very political when it comes to Catalonia, so I can't see that happening. So you never know. He might be England manager. It's not like they haven't talked about it before.
Oh,
has happened before.
Will he win a World Cup with England in this hot weather? Okay, Pep.
To be fair, you've just moaned how hot it was in Mallorca and you were sat in the sunbed.
It was hot, mate.
You wait.
And you know what's funny though?
Wait.
My friend over there went to watch Real Mallorca versus Valencia. It was 7 p.m. kickoff.
Yeah.
And I was outside at 7 p.m. I was like, all the best, lads. Hot.
There you go.
All the best just for watching, not playing.
No, it's playing in that heat.
Right, okay, just checking.
It's incredible the heat that they play in Spain. So, Crookie, you're right.
I can't believe you're so hot. It's like this morning was like 12 degrees, and you're on a line bike, and you look like you've been...
but I'm racing to try and not fall down the hill, mate, because I had no electric on the bloody bike.
You're racing to try and not fall down the hill.
I'm pedalling harder so I wasn't falling down the hill on my line bike.
I think that's the wrong tactic. If you start pedalling faster, you're more likely to fall down the hill.
So what, pedal slowly and then just tip over?
Well, just take it slow, just like, you know.
No, mate, no, these hills, Vikings cross. First hills ever known.
You do know that area's got a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit, don't you?
I was going faster than that, mate.
Yeah, I bet you were. This is Talk Sport. Sam Matterface, Alex Crook with Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go. Gabby Agbonlahor is here as well. We're here till 1.
But the most important thing for him and Man City fans is they are now top of the Premier League. How does that make you feel as an Arsenal fan?
Yeah, it's one of those. I mean, I didn't watch the game. It's one of them.
I'm surprised you didn't, because with 5 minutes ago you'd have got very excited about it.
Yeah, no, but it's one of them where I expect when I saw them go 1 up after, 6 minutes.
Yeah.
I went, here we go.
Yeah, me too.
Do you know what it means? But it's one of them where you have to just go, okay, fair enough. And I understand where some supporters are coming from when they say it's the best possible outcome. Because if Man City had gone to Burnley and beat them by 6 and you look at the goal difference, you're going, oh my goodness. But now everything is level apart from goals scored.
See, this is what I don't get. So we've got a WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it ticking away last night.
Oh, did you?
But Luke, who's a diehard, a devoured Arsenal fan, he's nuts about Arsenal, right?
Yeah.
He actually said, he quoted what you've just said, actually, it's the best possible result Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, the best possible result is Man City losing.
But obviously that was never going to happen.
No, but also with 5 minutes to go, but then best possible result was Burnley nicking an equaliser.
Yeah, apart from Man City getting beat or drawing, they were the best two. But in terms of this scenario, 1-0 was perfect.
Yeah, but 1-0 is always better than 2-0, better than 3-0. So it's a little bit of a pointless saying.
Well, it's not, because if they go...
The best possible result we could have hoped, that's a lie.
Well, no, the best is...
It's the worst win.
Yes, but it's the worst, best result we could have hoped for. Because 1-0 against Burnley...
That's such a bad claim.
Okay, if they're going to be 8-0.
I know. Here's the thing, right? And one more Billy made this point. I'm not going to steal his thunder in the meeting. It was a great point. It wasn't that long ago Arsenal were 9 points clear. You'd ask an Arsenal fan, including yourself, you're going to win. Long way to go.
After Rotterdam, these boos for Luke Littler in Liverpool were nothing.
If it gets worse than that, then yeah, something's up. But like I said, Rotterdam was far worse than tonight. And yeah, I even proved people last week that I can win games under them circumstances, and I've done it again.
A 6-1 win over Johnny Clayton puts Littler well into the Premier League playoff contention. Now reports Edin Terzic is set to become Athletic Bilbao head coach. That could mean Andoni Eriola goes to Chelsea, but would the owners give Eriola the control he wants?
You look at the way they've approached things so far, the answer you would suggest is no, because they've had top coaches before and they've not released the shackles in that way.
Former host Bob Wilson's told TalkSport he's hugely disappointed the BBC are getting rid of Football Focus after 52 years.
I think people love that programme, and I don't see how it can change dramatically in any other way than providing what it's providing now.
The show will continue to run until the end of the season, and F1 is heading back to Turkey from 2027. Istanbul Park will have races for at least 5 years. The course is popular with the drivers. There's more at talksport.com.
It's TalkSport with Sam Matterface, Alex Crook. Well, actually,
Is Alex here?
It's TalkSport with Sam Matterface and Gabby Agbonlahor and a late Alex Crook. I don't leave the studio when we go to an outbreak.
Okay, you got to leave the sweets alone, mate.
No, I was actually just, getting some information.
Well, yeah. Yeah, that's what he says about everything. That's his excuse for everything. The great thing about being a journalist, right, is that you can just turn around and just say, I was just on the phone to a source. I was just texting a source.
Yeah,
I was
chief
just having a little
executive.
chat with this person or that.
Never off duty. Never off duty.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I distinctly remember you at the darts off duty. I can see you dancing on tables in beer halls in Germany off duty.
networking.
Villa Park last week, off duty.
Definitely
after the
off
game.
duty playing cards.
He was having a nice gin. Yeah.
Absolutely. In the snooker hall tonight, off duty. Yeah. Never on duty is probably more apt, let's be honest. Someone who has been on duty for 12 matches at Manchester United is Michael Carrick. He's picked up 8 wins in that time, and they are on the brink of returning to the Champions League this season. But are they right to take things slow with him, or should they have pressed the button on a permanent appointment? Well, some of the reluctance is down to the fact that they appointed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in similar circumstances a couple of years ago. But Michael Carrick has been talking about that in the last 24 hours.
I keep saying the same things in front of you every week. You know, there's only so much I can say in terms of that. But I've said it many times again. I enjoy being here. I love being here. It's a real privilege to be in the position I am. But thriving with the responsibility that we got.
Just on terms of the job long term, when it is brought up outside the walls of Carrington, sceptics kind of bring up Ollie's time at the club in terms of comparisons to your term at the moment.
Became close, and in the end, obviously, it changed and it went a different direction. That's football. I think comparisons, you could compare to all sorts of different situations and managers and coaches and teams over the years. It just depends on what you want to choose to compare, but it's irrelevant, really. It really is, and that's not a negative or a positive. It doesn't really have any link at all. I think we're a different team now, irrespective of me. Who's in charge? It's a different team, it's a different time, so I don't really think comparisons literally make any difference at all.
That's Michael Carrick speaking about the rumours linking him with the job full-time. Those have sort of changed over the last 24 hours, 48 hours. There's been some sort of chatter about the possibility that if a big-name, charismatic manager comes to the fore, then maybe they might change tack. I mean, he has been exactly what Manchester United have needed. And I spoke to him after the Chelsea game, and he said, quite forcefully actually, you know, if you look at the table from the moment I walked in the door to now, we would be top.
Yeah. Well, he's right. And still the only team in the Premier League not to lose back-to-back games this season after Arsenal's defeat at the weekend. Obviously followed losing at home to Bournemouth. And we did the Fiery Friday podcast, which is out today. And my hot take this week was that if Michael Carrick was in situ at the start of the season, I think United will be part of the title race. I worked out 13 points that were lost under the previous manager.
What was his name?
We don't talk about him. And they would be up there with City and Arsenal. So on that basis, he can't have done much more, Michael Carrick. He's beaten both those teams. He's beaten Aston Villa, who were the team directly below them in the table. He's beaten Chelsea in a huge game last weekend to pretty much knock them out of the Champions League chase. He may well beat Liverpool at home next month. It's difficult not to make a case for giving him the job. Having said that, there are just one or two whispers that Sir Jim Ratcliffe would like do I say a sexier name, a bigger name?
The word that's being used is charismatic. I mean, if you ever met Michael, he's quite a charismatic guy to actually sit down and talk to. But it does feel as if sometimes you can get drawn into this need to have a big name when actually the solution could be just in front.
But Sam, if I was Manchester United, give him the job once they are guaranteed Champions League football. If that's 2 more wins, if that's 4 points, whatever it is, I would confirm Michael Carrick is the manager. And there's no need for Manchester United to give him a long 4 or 5 year deal.
Well, we
said it last week. Give him a 1 year deal, a 2 year deal, and say, like, this is the right thing now. We haven't rushed into it. He's done a great job. He's got us into the Champions League. Then, like you both said a couple of weeks ago, he can plan for pre-season. If he has the same pre-season, he can start planning.
I will just say that you have to understand now that giving someone a 5 or 6 year contract in management is largely irrelevant at the big clubs, because what they do is they build in, as Chelsea did with Liam Rosenior, a certain payoff. That payoff is determined the minute they walk through the door. So if they pull the trigger...
You think a top manager, though, will accept that clause?
All of them do now, pretty much.
I'm not sure. I don't think a top manager is going to go to a football club and look what Liam Rosenior's got, 4 million out of 24
But Michael
million.
Carrick would definitely...
Yeah, I think he would.
A 5 year contract with a termination clause.
Of course, yeah, but I'm saying the top managers. You can't say Luis Enrique was going to come to Chelsea, Manchester United. He's not going to have no little clause in there.
There would be an agreed payoff termination clause.
I'm not sure.
If certain criteria weren't met.
I'm not sure.
These big clubs now run like corporate entities.
I know, but when you're a big superstar manager.
Do you reckon
what
if they
you've
offered
done-
him a 35 million contract over 5 years, they're going to pay that all up if after 2 years they
I
get
think
the
so,
Champions League
yeah.
twice?
I think so,
There'll
yeah.
be something in there. There'll be something in there.
Maybe.
When David Moyes was appointed as the manager of Manchester United, that's 2013, they gave him a 6-year contract, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
And they sacked him within 9 months because mathematically they couldn't finish in the
That's
Champions League places, and that meant that there was a termination clause that they could get rid of him. But that's replacing Alex Ferguson.
It was the day after they officially couldn't qualify for the Champions League. So you're dead right there. I do keep coming back a little bit to Thomas Tuchel as well. You know, and I know he signed a new contract with England, and the FA won't welcome this kind of speculation. But is it beyond the realms that there could even be a release clause in that contract that, depending what happens in the summer, maybe it doesn't stop Manchester United entirely from trying to get the England manager?
You cannot walk out on England. Look at the furore that was engulfed everybody when Sven-Göran Eriksson entertained the possibility of going to Manchester United, leaving England to go to Manchester United. If Thomas Tuchel does that, then it's gonna cause all sorts of problems.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. But
You're saying it for a reason.
Well, listen, I know that he would be high on the list of contenders if he was available.
But he had an interview with them. He's spoken to them beforehand, and he turned down the he didn't want to work in those circumstances.
Is it a slightly different club now? I mean, listen, I'll give Ineos a lot of stick. I think when you look at the recruitment last summer, and I think recruitment was one of his concerns, they pretty much got it right with Cunha and Mbumo, and certainly
their player
Le Mans as well.
brilliant this season, yeah.
Do you think that Manchester United are looking at it though and saying, "Look what happened with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer"? Do they want?
I think that's a really lazy argument.
It's different, isn't it? You're going to say that.
I'm not
about
making an
every
argument.
caretaker.
I'm
a lot of people do.
Are they thinking like that? You just said 2 minutes ago they're looking at a more charismatic manager, maybe a more superstar manager. Is that why they haven't given it him yet? Are they thinking, this happened with
Who was more
Solskjaer?
successful over the course of their tenure? Louis van Gaal, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Erik ten Hag, or Ruben Amorim?
No idea.
Probably Ten Hag got an FA Cup. But
I was going to say that, you know, and obviously,
but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer consistently, in terms of performance and getting into Champions League and getting closest to winning the titles, is certainly the best of those performers.
He probably served up the best football entertainment-wise, certainly in that caretaker stint. But obviously, you used to give me a bit of stick because I went a bit early with Ten Hag, called him the little bold genius. But do you know what? When you look at what came after him, I think he did a good job, Ten Hag, to a point.
The football was terrible towards the end, and he would talk about things
But
that weren't
he was
happening.
better than his successor.
Who was that again?
The fella from Portugal.
What was his name?
I remember.
Do you know what that is? The LBG had a beer with us after the Barcelona game. That's why he loved Erik ten Hag.
Oh, really? It's all adding up now.
Yeah, we went into the director's box after the Barcelona game, didn't we? And he was there with his son, who looks exactly the same as Erik ten Hag, having a beer with everybody. Yeah, so that's why he loves him. When Crookie says he's talking to a source, this is a better one. Ryan, what's Alex's favourite sauce? Heinz, HP, or Hellman's?
Do you know what? I'm brown sauce now. My bacon sandwich.
Oh yeah,
it's been a changing of the palate over the last year or so.
Why?
Don't know. Just taken to it.
Really
gone a bit off ketchup. Bit sweet.
Is it?
Bit sweet. I'm more sour.
You're definitely salty.
As you know.
That's for sure. Definitely salty. Right, okay, we've got a few minutes left of the show, and we've still got so much to talk about, and we're waffling on here about sauce, when really we should be talking about FA Cup semi-finals. We've also got a live and exclusive commentary tonight on Talk Sport. The first of 3 live Premier League games this weekend. So Friday night football sees us take Sunderland and Nottingham Forest, 8 o'clock this evening. Tomorrow, we've got live commentary of the Fulham-Aston Villa game. Monday night football is at Manchester United when they take on Brentford. And we'll talk a bit about that Sunderland game next.
The big news is that Liam Rosenior has been sacked by Chelsea after 5 straight Premier League losses in which Chelsea didn't score a single goal. That's their worst record since 1912. Now, Chelsea would have preferred Rosenior to stay and be judged in years rather than weeks, but it simply wasn't possible. And as a consequence, a mid-season change is needed. Even though Rosenior only got the job in January, what I can tell you is that the players have already been informed. They were off today, and Callum McFarland will take charge of the team until the end of the season on an interim basis. And that includes the weekend's FA Cup semi-final against Leeds United at Wembley. And then Chelsea in the summer will do a thorough process to replace Rosenior, but they're going to take their time with that. So Rosenior sacked after that loss to Brighton, arguably Chelsea's worst performance in many, many years. And it is an interim manager in Callum McFarland to take charge until the end of the season.
Ben, firstly, well done on breaking the news. I'm looking at all the other media outlets. We've got it before everyone, so I really appreciate you telling TalkSport first. Why the big change of heart? Because it wasn't that long ago the owners came out and almost confirmed the fact that they were going to stick with their manager, and they see him in that position for a long, long time. Why all of a sudden is it the change of heart? Is it the performance? Is it the result last night?
It's a results-driven business, and I also think that there was an issue with the dressing room too. Obviously, Chelsea are really keen to show their respect for Liam Rosenior.
The one and only Sam Ryder! Please welcome back Will Traeger. 4 billion more listens than there are people on the planet.
On the planet.
Adam is coming on the show.
It's your WhatsApp. It's your WhatsApp. It's your WhatsApp. It's your.
It's TalkSport. It's Sam Matterface, Gabby Agbonlahor, and ladies and gentlemen, here is Alex Crook.
Yeah, here to tell you that on Monday, the 18th of May, I'll be at beautiful Windsor Racecourse for a day of top quality racing and a brilliant preview to the upcoming World Cup. Join me, him, Sam Matterface, and our own FA Cup winner with Chelsea, Scott Minto, as we talk you through all the runners and riders ahead of the big tournament in North America, plus a in-depth discussion about who might end up world champions and England's chances of success stateside. Tickets also include some free drinks, a nice big curry, and of course a full evening card of races as well. That's at the Windsor Racecourse website, and we will see you there.
Yes, we're looking forward to it. Have we got one of those QR codes, Joe, that we can put up now? No? Okay, we saw that for next week.
Fair price.
Go on to Instagram.
You know what it is actually, and yeah, you get a nice table in the restaurant as well.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful course.
Fair price, guys.
I think it's on my Instagram at Sam Matterface. On your
it's on mine as well.
Instagram.
Yeah,
as well.
tickets going well, I'm told.
I'm gonna come and support you.
I think you should, because two things, right? One, it'll be a beautiful, absolutely beautiful Windsor Racecourse.
Yes.
Right, absolutely lovely.
You get the boat over from the town centre.
I love a boat.
You do love a boat. You do love a boat. And also, the other thing, you love a curry.
Absolutely.
You love a curry. And also, you need to fill in the rest of your prep document for the World Cup.
Exactly.
So it's worth it for you.
No-brainer.
Absolutely.
Get over there, guys.
There's been some mixed messages about Regis Labrie and his future. This is what he's had to say on it ahead of tonight's game live on TalkSport, Sunderland against Nottingham Forest.
For me, I don't look around, don't look too far in the future. The most important thing for me is to stay focused, to work hard with a strong project, clear identity, clear teamwork, so I'm not alone. So it's an interesting job, and the results can influence the judgment. I would say at least the external judgment, because it's often connected with the last emotion. You win, you are really good. You lose, you might say that you are not the right man for the job. So for me, the most important is the consistency. And I think in this club, in 2 seasons now, we've been really consistent. When we are struggling, we are working hard to change and to fix problems. When we are going well, we are winning. It's not the end of the project. We still have something to learn, something to prove, something to achieve, and we are in this mood. So I'm comfortable to be in this project and want to work hard once again.
Crookmeister, what information have you got on his future?
Yeah, this was a story from the TalkSport notebook in midweek, just suggesting that in a summer when there's going to be a lot of managerial upheaval, don't completely rule out Regis Lebris departing Sunderland. I know sources have briefed their local media that his position isn't under any threat, but I've been told that if they don't qualify for Europe, there's a possibility, it may be a slim one, they might look to move in a different direction, which I guess on the face of it would be harsh, Gabs.
One of the harshest sackings in Premier League history. You know, you look at the league table, Brighton in 6th, Sunderland only 4 points up Brighton in 6th place. Even if they didn't get top 7, missed out on European football, the job he's done.
Just surviving would have been.
Exactly, the job he's done. I'm sure the Sunderland fans won't be happy if he was to lose his job.
And actually, the fan reaction has been very much that point, and probably the owners will take note of that.
OK, that game tonight, live on TalkSport, kicks off at 8 o'clock. It's Sunderland against Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest in good form, actually, their best run of the season so far. Bit of breaking news that's reached us in the last few minutes, and that is that the FA Cup final will kick off in the traditional 3 p.m. slot. I think that's big news, especially when we're talking about sort of some nostalgia being pushed to one side, like the Football Focus going at the end of the season. The fact that the FA Cup final is kicking off at 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon, I think is a wonderful thing.
It's good for fans, it's good for travel, it's also good for players. If you ask majority of players, they love playing at 3 o'clock. They hate you playing at midday because your prep, even your pre-match, 9 o'clock, and you're trying to get some pasta down you and you're feeling sick eating it. You know, the whole idea of the early kickoff doesn't make sense. 3 o'clock, perfect.
Afternoon, lads. Now, not watching on YouTube, but I can imagine Gabby rose his eyebrows to Crookie saying Carrick would have Manchester United in the title race after getting the sack from Middlesbrough after a full campaign in charge. Another wild Friday take from Salty, Paulie the Sparkle.
That's sort of the idea. It's called Hot Takes Fiery Friday, so you're going to come up with something that's a little bit out there.
And you do. Jesus Crookie, says Steve Goodings, Manchester United have a good 12 games and they're winning the league and the England manager is leaving for them, along with being a changed club. Mr. Salty Fickle.
7 defeats, 2 more than Manchester City and Arsenal. Massive missed opportunities along the way. Do you know what sums up the...
Hasn't everyone missed
what sums up the previous tenure? Losing at home to 10-man Everton.
Yeah, but the England manager leaving to go to Manchester.
No, I'm not saying that is a case. I'm not saying that is a case, but I'm just saying, do we know if there's any kind of release clause in the contract or not? Maybe we need to find out.
Also, Manchester United have done well with Michael Carrick. Let him have the job now. Let him see how he does. Exactly. There's no need to force it.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
Continue with your good recruitment. You've done a good job. You've signed some good players that have worked out well.
And actually, if Sir Jem Ratcliffe is not convinced, then that probably makes me more convinced that Michael Carrick is the right man.
Crookie trying to create a story about Regis is rubbish. He's got the safest job in the league. No chance he's going anywhere, says Patrick. You didn't create the story, did you?
No.
That's just to give him a little bit of credit there. If we qualify for the Champions League, then they should offer Carrick the job with a contract full of clauses and targets. The pressure of being permanent Manchester United manager is immense compared to be given just a free go as a caretaker. Carrick might not come across as charismatic, but he's taken us back to basics. And don't get it twisted. He is a serial winner, passionate about United. He knows what it means to be part of a winning United family. The problem we have is after Fergie, all the other teams invested in infrastructure and we were left behind. United were arrogant, thinking we'd just carry on being successful because we're Man United, much like Ferrari in F1. It's slowly changing, but we are years off being real contenders. And in Chelmsford, I tell you what, there is a massive value attached to the fact that Manchester United have got a man in the dugout who played for the club and knows what it's like to walk down that touchline when this is the one he's playing, past the Stretford end, down in front of the Sir Bobby Charlton stand and sit in the dugout, feeling the pressure, because he doesn't feel the same level of pressure as someone like Ruben Amorim would feel, or Eric Ten Hag, or any of the previous managers that come from the outside. because that blazer weighs heavy on most
He's
people.
been there and done it.
Doesn't him.
Even changing the formation, it wasn't rocket science. Everyone said, stop playing this 5 at the back. The formation Manchester United are playing suits the players, and he's made big decisions. Dr. Shesko on the bench for certain games, and Bumo recently on the bench for Diallo. So I think he should get the job, definitely.
And they like Shesko.
Yeah.
I think he's a good player, but he's still young.
Sometimes you're not in the team, get on with it.
That's the way it is. As we've all found before, haven't we?
Yeah, sometimes not in the team, are we, Cookie?
I don't know that feeling.
We will see you next Friday. Big time Crookmeister, the salty number one Saltmeister, will be back with us on Friday. We're going to what we're doing this week. You're doing both FA Cups.
I'm at Wembley all weekend. Yeah, look forward to it.
I'll see you on Sunday for Chelsea versus Leeds. I'll see you next week as well, won't I?
Yes.
Looking forward to that. We've got lots of live football for you this weekend. Make sure you join us Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday night as well. Lots of football from the EFL. There's some issues to sort out there as well. That's on TalkSport too. Download the app. You've got access to the whole lot. H&J are next.
It's expensive as well, living in Paris, by the sounds of it, Emmanuel. It's expensive being Emanuel Petit, by the sounds of it as well.
No, so happy to be Emanuel Petit, you know.
Oh, quite right.
If I was not Emanuel Petit, I wish I would be. I could be Emanuel Petit. Honestly, my life is beautiful. You
Well,
know?
let's get into this. What do you like about him?
Well, I always do what I like, you know. I don't do things because I don't want to do it. And this is a luxury, especially nowadays. People would think, okay, with the money he earned, but I gave everything to my ex-wives. I had 3 divorces, and I gave the